If you clicked on this video thinking that 30 listings is out of your reach and there's no way that that's going to happen over the next 90 days, maybe you've only gotten 3 in your entire career. Maybe you've only gotten 20 all year long, and you think, how am I going to go out here and get 30 in the next 90 days? I'm here to tell you that at the end of this video and the Zoom call that you're about to watch, you're not only going to realize that it's possible and that it could be a reality, but you're also going to know exactly how to do it and go take action today. We're going to be utilizing direct mail, phone calls, and social media to go out here and take these next 30 listings. And you're going to learn in the Zoom call how imperative this is for you to do this right now. All the planets are lining up. It's the perfect storm in the markets for you to really build that foundation for your career to absolutely explode. So I'm excited for you. I want you to watch this in its entirety so that you really understand. At the very end, I do a long Q&A session. Lot of nuggets in there. So let me know what you think in the comments. Click the like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and let's get into it.
All right. Giving it just a sec, everybody. Let us know where you're from in the comments.
Cocoa, Florida.
Oh, cool,
sorry.
man. Good to see you, bro.
Gulf Shores.
All right. My market.
That's right.
Rockville, Maryland.
Toronto, Maryland. Is that what you said?
No, Rockville, Maryland.
Okay, I was like, Toronto, Maryland. That doesn't sound like a place.
Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right.
St. Simon's Island, Georgia.
Diamond, California.
Good old Southern California.
Oh,
right.
And I'm the last step steeper to Southern California, Long Beach.
Diamond Bar, California.
Oklahoma City.
Diamond Bar, California.
Good old South Jersey.
Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
New Orleans, Louisiana.
I couldn't tell.
Gulfport, Mississippi.
I couldn't tell.
Hilton Head, South Carolina.
I could tell you're from New Orleans. You didn't have to say that. You could have just
Diamond
said
Bar.
The great state of Delaware.
I'm from Southern California.
All right.
Louisville,
California.
Southern California is like that's like a city in itself, huh? People are like, I'm from Southern California, even though it could be like a million places.
Southern California.
Southern California
from the
definitely is a million places.
It's a million places, but that's
LA,
where people say they're
LA,
from.
A million hours.
Central LA.
That's almost like saying I'm
Yeah.
from planet Earth.
Yeah.
Michigan.
Hey, Lisa
All right,
from
cool,
Michigan.
cool.
Where at Michigan?
Let's see. Oh, we're at 422
Chicago.
people.
San Diego in the building.
Home Township.
All right, I'm gonna mute you guys. Let's get started here. All right, cool. Let me make sure I'm all systems go. Okay. Got a bunch of people piling in. That's why I'm giving it just a sec, guys. Let's get to where it's just like trickling in, and then we'll kind of get started. So, all right. Put in the chat right now if I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have been on some of my recent trainings. All right. And this is your first one, you know. How you doing? But if you guys have been to one of my, you know, recent ones, kind of get a little what do you call it? I get a little excited, let's just say. And let me know in the chat if you guys like my style here, because I'm just really coming at you a little bit, right? Really coming at you hard, because the way I see it, if I'm not coming at you hard, then it kind of, to me, it's kind of like if I'm not like trying to really, you know, put this in your head, then I feel like you're going to look at it like Ricky gave up on me because he's not even trying to help me really understand what's happening. That's the way I see it. So I just want you guys to know before, just as a disclaimer, before we get into this, as I get excited and stuff, just understand that's me loving you. Okay. That's me saying, I believe in you. I know you can do this if you'll just listen to what I'm saying and go execute. All right. So what I want to start with is the 30 listing challenge. Okay. All right. So we're doing this. We're doing this where everybody here is going to go out and execute on the plan I gave you today to go take 30 more listings before the end of the year. All right. Why? Because right now, between now and the end of the year, literally is going to dictate your entire year next year. Because when you get into the selling season, which starts at the end of January every year, nationally, it's probably different per market, okay, or niche or commercial or residential or second home, whatever. But just national numbers, it starts slowing down now. Inventory rises, days on the market go up, prices soften, okay, and then at the end of January, things pick up every year. I mean, here, let me prove it real quick. Let me just show you, just so you can see what I'm talking about from a visual standpoint before we go any further. All right. All right, I'm sure you guys can see this. This is home sales in the US. Look what it does every year. It's going down till the end of January, February 1st, okay? Is when sales pick up. Same thing in 21, same thing in 22. Let's bring 20 up. Okay, here's 20. Same thing. You see that? All down. And then it peaks out, around June, July, and it starts to kind of taper down. Okay, every year. So, I mean, that's national numbers. You dig into the local numbers and, you can get a better idea of what's happening and all that stuff. But what I'm telling you is that when the market picks up, guess what? You don't have time to build your business anymore because now you're just servicing all these deals coming through. Okay. You may have a little time to build your business, especially if you're in the early stages of your career where you don't have a lot of clients. So you may feel like, oh, I don't really have nothing to do because I don't have a bunch of people to show property to and listing appointments to go to. So, I have all this time, so I'm going to build my business. But as you build your business and develop your business and you get into this yearly flow, okay, you're going to get into a place where your summer, like from February 1st till June or July or whatever, August, is so busy, you can't prospect. But now, right this second, from September to the end of January, you do have time to prospect. And if you're not taking advantage of those months to build your influence in the market, then you're not going to make more money next year. When the selling season comes, it's the slow season is going to come and go so fast that when the selling season comes, now you're just too busy to really build your business anymore. And now you may be growing, but at a very slow rate. Okay. When you do what I'm telling you to do now, and we go hard like October 1st is January 1st, that feeling January 1st you get like, oh, this is a new year. I'm going to crush it. I'm so excited. New things. That's how you need to feel October 1st. That's what October 1st needs to feel like for us, because guess what? This is a three-month lag business. Okay? So if we want a massive 2024, okay, that means we need to crush it when? January, February, March, April, all 12 months, right? But if we wait till January 1st to crush 2024, and this is a 3-month lag business, then we're really not crushing January, February, March like we could have if we would have been working now. Makes sense. It has to make sense. Okay. So that's where we are right this second. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to, if you're looking at 30 listings by the end of the year, and you're looking at that number and you think this is possible, I can do this, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. If you look at it and you think there ain't no way, I've never even listed 30 properties in my entire career. I've listed 2 properties this entire year. There's no way I'm going to go out and get 30 more properties by the end of the year. Put a 2 if you think, wow, this is just a crazy number. I'm going to go after, I'd be happy to get 4 listings by the end of the year, or 8 listings or 15 listings or whatever the case may be. Okay. I want you to put a 2 if you feel like this is just impossible. There's no way this is going to happen. All right. I want you to put a 1 if you think, yeah, this is possible and I can do this. All right. All right, cool. I'm looking at all the stuff coming through. It's like a mixed bag. It's like somebody put 1.99. It seems like there's mostly ones and there's some twos. I think the twos are being extremely honest with theirself and everybody in the group. I think there's some ones that are kind of like, I don't know if it's possible, but I'm just going to believe, right? Okay. So getting into this, you know, I built my entire business, you know, calling property owners, you know, circle prospecting is what we call it now. Back then, we just called it calling property owners, farming or whatever. I want to say a couple things about it, and then I want to talk about right this second, and then I want to kind of continue down the path here and lay this thing out for you. Circle prospecting was so good to me. I got to where I was making $1 million a year. Right now, I don't think it's the most efficient thing to do. Why? Because 30, you know, whatever it is, 90% are sitting under 6% rates, you know, whatever, 35% sitting under like, you know, 3% rates, whatever. A lot of these people are just waiting for mortgage rates to come down. Now, those are great clients for the future. Not a lot of now business. It can be because some of these people are investors. They're going to buy and sell stuff now. Maybe they own second homes. Maybe you're calling a house that is their second home. Maybe they own it free and clear, or maybe they're in a situation where they have to sell. All those things can happen. It's not a bad thing to do. But I don't think it's the lowest hanging fruit. Okay. So I just want to throw that out there as we kind of move through this. You may be thinking, cold calling, not going to do that. Don't want to do that. The plan today is going to involve direct mail, cold calling, and social media. Okay. It's going to involve all three, and you're going to do all three. Because here's the thing. I don't care if you don't like to cold call, or if you don't want to do videos, or if you don't feel like doing direct mail, or whatever the excuses are. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you how to go out and get 30 more listings by the end of the year. And then you don't have to do it. It doesn't matter to me if you do it or not. But if you want 30 listings, I can tell you exactly how to go do it. So if like being a cold caller, calling expireds, calling for sale by owners, making videos, things like that aren't in your business plan, throw the current business plan you have away for the next 90 days and just do this and just do it to get 30 more listings right now. And then January 1st hits, go back to whatever you were doing before if you want to. But commit to this to build your inventory. All right? All right, let's put a 3 if we're going to do that. If we're going to commit to what we're doing, throw everything else away. Let's commit to getting 30 new listings now. And then after that, let's go back to doing what we're doing, whatever we were doing before. Awesome. Cool. If you're watching this on a replay, a lot of people are going to watch this replay. This is recorded. I'll send it out. If you're watching this on a replay, all the links that I'm going to talk about are going to be in the description of the YouTube. All right. So any links, they'll be down there for you. Okay. And if you guys watching want a link of the replay, and all the other trainings, and just be informed on any of the trainings coming up and all that stuff, text me. All right. The text number is 251-312-8844. Put in the chat there. 251-312-8844. Just add yourself so you can stay up to date with everything I got going on. I send out motivational text messages and training sessions and what I think is going on with the market and all that stuff. Okay, 251-312-8844. All right. Cool. All right, so as I said, 2024 has started. All right. I'm going to go through these slides with you. Just kind of give you kind of a little overview here. Let me get all my stuff squared away here so I can see everything happening. Almost 600 people here on the Zoom. It's good stuff. All right. All right. 30 listing challenge. Over the next 90 days, between now and the end of the year, we're going to go get 30 more listings. All right. What I find very interesting about being a real estate agent is that we can create our own demand. The market can be complete rock bottom, which is what it is right now, guys. Right now, we're at rock bottom. Rock bottom. We're at 4 million transactions. We had 4 million transactions in 2008. All right. It doesn't get any worse than this. We're down to only the people who have to buy and sell, have to. And that's why prices are still going up and we're still seeing multiple offers, because the listings that are there, which is basically none, are being fought over by the people that have to buy and sell. And there's always going to be people who have to buy and sell. We can create our own demand because there's always buyers. There's always somebody who has to buy something, or investors who want to buy things, right? It's right now, it's people who have to, and it's investors like myself. I closed on 4 properties this week, 2 new constructions out of 5 I bought, 1 existing home, and 1 office space. I have 3 acres under contract to build 42-unit apartment complex 2 miles from my house. Met with the city for the second time today. I'm buying and selling. But we can create our own demand. We can see, we can go out and just find buyers everywhere, right? Just talk to humans. Right? I mean, call property owners. I'm going to give you some tools here today to go out and do this. By the way, let me find. Did you guys get the email about the 15-day RedX trial? Let me find that real quick. RedX has never done this. Let me find this link. That way you guys can get this. 14-day free trial. Try it for free. All right. It's in the description right there. That's not going to be open forever. They don't do that. Okay. We can go out and create our own demand. All right. I'm sure you guys realize that. Now, this was my business from 2008 to 2014. Okay. This is a visualization, but you can see prices continue to go down till 2012. My business was kind of just like keeping my head above water. And then as the market resurged, which is what it'll do now more than ever, my business exploded. All right. This was the result right here. 100 properties a year for 8 years in a row. #1 in my entire MLS. I sold hundreds of millions worth of real estate as a single agent because of what I did during 2008. What I did during 2008, from 2008 to 2011, 12, set me up for those 100 deals a year. And that's exactly what you could do right now. If you go out here and plant the seeds to not only get 30 listings over the next 90 days, that'll be great inventory going into the new year, but also all the if you get 30 listings, that means you talk to a lot more than 30 owners. And so all those extra owners you talk to that didn't do anything, those are seeds planted that will flourish over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And that's what's going to take your business to the next level when the market resurges. This is the moment. Why? Because it's like a double-edged sword right now. You've got the 10-year cycle, which is the down moment of 4 million transactions. Then it's the fall. And I just showed you how transactions are down in the fall. So you've got the yearly down cycle right now and the 10-year cycle down right now. This is the down. This is the bottom. This is it. This is the moment to take advantage of to really build your business to the moon. Now, what did I learn through the crash? I learned these 3 things. The closings happen every single day forever. I mean, you can go back, you can look, that's facts. Business is unlimited. Why? Because you can never talk to every single property owner in the market. And the process too, the process to do the deals, to meet the person, create the relationship till they get ready to do something, helping them with the listing or finding the property, negotiating the deal, working with the title company, lawyers, inspectors, lenders, all the people, all the way to closing, the process. You can't handle 100 deals at one time. So because you can't talk to everyone and you cannot handle but so many deals at one time, it creates a situation where there's more than you could handle at all times. So whatever your threshold is of how many ever you can handle, you could actually have that much business happening at all times, because there's enough no matter what the market is doing. Even if we're down to only the people who have to buy and only the investors, which is where we are right now, even if we're there, there's still enough business for you to have more than you could handle at any given time going on. And the third thing was the relationships part. I didn't realize that in the beginning of my career because I didn't have to. But now I realized, and when I came back into the market in 2008, I realized that's where I went wrong. I didn't value relationships over transactions. I didn't build lifelong relationships. When you're talking to these prospects, remember, it's not about the property and selling the property. It's about using the property as an excuse to get to know this person, to see exactly what it is they want to do and why, and if you can help them do it. Plain and simple. Okay, so this is your 2008, but even better. Now, why is it better? Well, it's better because prices haven't crashed, not going to crash. We could see, I mean, I don't know what, I'm not trying to say I have a crystal ball and prices are going to keep going to the moon. And I don't even believe they're going to keep going to the moon. I think they're going to just level out, is what I kind of believe is going to happen until interest rates come down. When interest rates come down, I think they're going to go up some more. How long are interest rates going to stay where they are? I don't know. But however long they do stay, I think prices are going to kind of hang right here. And then as they come down, we're going to see prices go up. But it's even better for two reasons. One, the market is so solid. There's no bad loans out there. 45% of properties are owned free and clear. You've got prices holding steady. You just don't have the monumental crash. And really back then it was a real estate crash that caused all the problems. If we do see a crash this time, it's not going to be a real estate crash. It's going to be a crash from some other source, and on top of all that, you've got people like myself who went through 2008, who are sitting here telling you every single thing they learned from 2008. So think about it. You got a better market, and you got people telling you exactly what they went through in 2008 so that you don't have to go through the same stuff. And you can have a little more confidence than say I did going into a bad situation, where now you can take advantage either way it goes. All right, again, this is your 2008. Here is the transactions in 2008, 4 million. Here it is this year, 4 million. Right? Here's where we are. A healthy market is 5 million. You can see most of the years are 5 million. Back in 2005 and 6, we had, too much. We had too much there in 2001. That's kind of, that craziness kind of caused it to come down. 5 million is a really good number. And we're going to bounce right back to 5 million easily. No problem. And I'll tell you what's going to happen. As interest rates come down, whenever that happens, the trade up seller is going to list their property and also buy a property. So net even for active listings, but tick up for new listings and transactions, 2 for transactions. Then you have the new first-time home buyers come in and take properties off the market. So active listings are going to go down. So when all this happens, transactions are going to skyrocket. New listings are going to skyrocket. Active listings are going to drop, and prices are going to go up. And if you if you go out there and do what I'm telling you to do, then you're going to be in position when all this happens to where you're the one doing all these transactions. This shows you inventory going back to the 80s. You can see we were 2 to 3 million back in the 80s. We hit 4 million in 2008. Now we're well below 1,000. But the real cool thing about this chart is if you look here at the last 10 years, you can see how the active listings go up and down every year. They shoot up and then they shoot down every year. See how seasonal it is? Every year, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so that's very important to notice. A lot of headlines and media outlets will try to tell you the sky is falling. Well, it's just a seasonal.
Good. We got 28
It's just something that's happening seasonally. Same thing with prices. If you look at prices going back to 2000, you'll see every year how prices shoot up, just like I was telling you. There's the busy season, there's the selling season, and then there's the slower season. Prices up, prices down, prices up, prices down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Every single year this happens. Okay? So just understand that. Now, what's cool right now is the new listings. Right? This is new listings. New listings hitting the market. Right now, we're down 7.5% compared to last year. Okay, right about here, we were 27%. Let me mute you. Right here, we were 27% down from last year. We've almost caught up. We're down 7.5%, but that's a big jump from the 27% that we were down earlier in the year. So we'll see how it goes. But if you compare this line of new listings, all right, let me fix this thing where I can get people in. If you compare this line to the black line and the orange line, the past 2 years, like like those lines are going down normally this time of year, but this line this year for new listings is doing what? It's ticking up. It's ticking sideways to up. That's abnormal to see new listings ticking up. So I say all that to say this: new listings are hitting the market, ladies and gentlemen, and we should be out there doing what? Stacking 30 listings now. Stacking 30 listings now. Okay, we're going to do this through direct mail. We're going to do this through phone calls. And we're going to do this through social media. Okay? Let me mute you up. People still coming in. All right. So we're going to take 10 from direct mail. I'm going to give you the model. We're going to take 10 from expired listings. I'm going to give you the blueprint. And we're going to take 10 from for sale by owners. I don't want to do for sale by owners. I don't like for sale by owners. I'm scared of for sale by owners. I don't want to call anybody. I want to call expireds. Then don't do it. I don't care. But I'm just telling you, if you want to go get 30 listings right now, then I'm going to tell you how to do it. But if you don't want to do it, don't do it. Doesn't matter to me. Either way. You can do it, you could not do it. It doesn't affect me. It affects you. But I'm going to tell you how to do it. Now, I'm going to give you some bonuses. Okay, so we got direct mail we're going to hit. I'm going to give you a process. We got expired listings, and we got for sale by owners. Now, I'm going to give you some bonuses. Okay, investors, for rent by owners, and absentee owners. Right? Absentee owners are people that own the property but don't live in the property. These people are primed to sell. They have a lot of equity in their property. Okay, and they may be investors. We need to build our investor list because these investors buy and sell no matter what the market's doing. You need to build that list. For rent by owners are investors who are trying to rent their property, and they manage these properties on their own, and they're probably looking for more investment properties to buy. Okay, so these are going to be the bonuses we're going to go through. Really quickly, our daily routine. In the morning, we're going to make a list of everything we need to be doing for the day. All right, we're immediately going to look up our MLS hot sheet. We're going to look at the closed sales, new listings, pendings, expireds, withdrawals, cancels, whatevers. We're going to scan through there and really become a market expert because we've got our finger on the pulse of our local markets. Nobody watches the hot sheet like we watch the hot sheet. Nobody knows the listings coming on and how quick they're selling and the prices and what agents are doing the deals and what the pictures look like more than we do. We know what's going on more in the market than anybody. Why? Because we watch the MLS hot sheet every day. What's the hot sheet? Go to your MLS and there's a button that tells you the new listings for the last 24 hours. The closed sales for the last 24 hours, the expires, the pending deals, anything that went pending in the last 24 hours. That's the hot sheet. If you don't know about the hot sheet, call your local board, MLS, say, hey, how do I look this up? It should be right there on the homepage of your MLS. Okay. Then we're going to prospect. We're going to make calls from 9 to 12. It doesn't matter if you get your leads on social media. Call all the leads you got on social media yesterday between 9 and 12 today. If you're a cold caller, whatever, you better be calling somebody. I know a person that gets Facebook leads. You know, they pay for all these Facebook leads. What do? They call them between 9 and 12 every day. I'm like, why are you doing that? Why don't you just get property owners for a cent and just call them between 9 and 12? You're making the calls anyway. Why are you calling dead for sale by owner leads where maybe 1 out of 100's worth something? Call property owners and develop relationships with people who own property, the exact properties you want to sell, and really build a business here. Your daily goal is going to be 5 new friends a day with property owners. After lunch, we're going to do social media, making our videos, coming up with great ideas, engaging with people on social, doing our social media thing. All right. And then we're going to do a weekly email. Okay. I've got training on the weekly email. If you guys don't need it, whatever, I'll hook you up. Again, if you want a replay of this and all my trainings, future trainings, past trainings, scripts, templates, actually the weekly email stuff is right there. You can text me here, 251-312-8844. Make sure we're connected there. All right. Okay. Now let's dive in here. I'm not going to get into all the stuff. I just want to tell you how to get 30 listings in the next 90 days. We could do a training on all kinds of different things, but I'm going to focus on these 3 things: direct mail, expired listings for sale by owners. And then I'm going to give you these. I'm going to go through these bonus avenues here. Now I'm going to bring in Shane in a minute on the for sale by owners. He's going to give you a 50-minute strategy. He's picking up 10 for sale by owner listings a month. He's listed 10 this month for sale by owners. I'll have him come in a second after I go through direct mail and expired listings with you, to share with you quick little synopsis of his strategy of how he's been able to go out there and get 10 in a month. I'm asking you to get 10 in 90 days. All right. He's gotten 10. He's picking up 10 a month. All right. Let me get to my direct mail sheet here. Okay. Now, in the chat right now, I want you to put a 1 if you have a buyer that you're working with that you haven't found, that you can't find a property for. Okay. You know, you're working with the buyer. Actually put in the chat how many buyers. Okay. Are you working with 4 buyers? Are you working with 8 buyers? Are you working with 6 buyers? You're working with 2 buyers that want properties, but you can't find them. All right. You've been waiting on them to come online. You've been waiting on their listings to pop up. You've been, you know, talking to people. You've put it on social media that I have these buyers looking for some properties to sell, just can't find any. Cool. So pretty much all of you. All right. So this is what we're going to do. All right. Boom, boom. Cool. And I will put the link to this Google sheet in the description of the, actually, I'll put this Google sheet. I'm going to put a link in the chat right now for everybody that's watching live. So you can have this Google sheet to look at. Now, you have buyers already and you can't find inventory for. What do you do? All right. Okay. So what are we going to do? We're going to write, due to heavy collaboration use, some tools are unavailable for larger audiences. Okay. I don't know what that's saying. Let's see. Let me get up out of there. Maybe they won't let you guys see that. I don't know. We'll see. So if you already have a buyer, what are we going to do? We're going to do a handwritten letter. You know how many millions of dollars I've made off this letter right here? Okay. This letter. Okay. You have a really nice printed letterhead at the top. Okay. And you're going to handwrite. It's going to say, Dear Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, Johnson, whatever their names are. And this is going to go out to people who own property that fits the criteria of your buyers that you can't find property for. Okay. So you have a buyer in mind for that house. And you're going to handwrite. You're going to handwrite these words. Dear Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. You're going to say one question. Would you consider selling your home at address to a prospect of mine? Sincerely, sign your name. You're going to put a business card in the envelope and you're going to handwrite the envelope. You're going to handwrite the return address. You're not going to put a sticker on it. You're going to handwrite the return address. You're going to handwrite their address. And you're going to put a business card in this letter and you're going to let it fly. Okay. Now, when I did these, I would get a 10% callback on this. So if I sent out 100, 10 owners will call me back. Some were just curious. Some thought, oh, do you really have a buyer? Some actually wanted to sell and I would sell their property. The ones that didn't, I would create a relationship for the future and I sold their property later. Okay. So our goal here is to write 1,000 of these letters. Yes, 1,000. And we're expecting 50 to 100 callbacks from property owners, which we are going after 10 listings with this. So our goal is to write 1,000 of these letters, get 50 to 100 callbacks, and list 10 of these properties. Now, I'm going to explain here what the process is when they call you on these properties. Okay. And a little side note, when we send these 1,000, okay, we're immediately going to start calling them as well. Okay. So this is part of our process here. We are going to call them as well. So we're going to find the 1,000. We're going to send the 1,000 out as quick as we can. I'd love to see everybody get this done in the first 30 days of the 90 days. That way, the time it takes to talk to them and look at it and listing appointments and get to the point where they actually list the property happens within the 90 days. Okay.
What happened here?
Boom, bam. And by the way, guys, when I get through with all this, I'm going to do a Q&A with you guys. Somebody said, let's see, here's the Red X trial. That's how you get the phone numbers and stuff. They're doing a 14-day free trial. What if you don't have a buyer? Ask your uncle if he wants to buy a home. He's going to say, sure, I'll buy it at the right price. Bam, there's a buyer. Like, they're everywhere. Call a property, start calling property owners and say, hey, would you want a good deal on a rental property? Oh, you would? Cool. What do you like? Get their criteria. Boom, buyer. Bam. Send out 1,000 letters that fits that criteria. Okay. So I hope you guys are clear with that. Now, what's the process when they call? All right. The owner's going to call you, right? And they're going to ask if you really have a buyer. And you're going to say, yep, you do. Do you really want to sell? Do you really have a buyer? Yep, I really got a buyer. Do you really want to sell? Okay. If yes, we have to know one thing. Why? Okay. We got to get into why. Got to get into why. Got to get into the why. Oh, just bring me a buyer. I will just bring you a buyer, but I have to see the property. I have to know what I can't go to the buyer and say, I have this imaginary property. I don't know what they're going to ask. If the property is worth 400 and the seller says, oh, go bring me a buyer. And then I'll go say, hey, I got this property. And they'll bring the buyer, and buyer says, yeah, I'll buy it 400. That's what it's worth. And the seller's like, oh, I want 550. What are you talking about? That's not going to work, right? Right. So what you have to do is the process. So that's what I'm explaining to you right this second. This is the process. They're going to call you and say, really? You're going to say, yep. Do you really want to sell? Great. Why? Where are you going? Why are you moving? Why are you thinking about selling? Understand what's going on behind the scenes. Okay. Next, you got to see the property to price it. Okay. Never price a property without seeing it, number one. Number two, and I put this in bold, never present a property to a buyer without an agreed on asking price and commission rate, ever. Because if they say, I'll sell it for 400, and you go to your buyer and say, I got a house for 400, and they come back and look at it and say, okay, I'll do 400. You bring the offer to the seller and say, hey, I got a full price offer, 400. And then they say, well, I wanted a net 400. So you're gonna have to put your commission on top of that. And then you're now you got egg on your face because you got to go back to the buyer and say, hey, you know, it's actually 430 or 440. Sorry. That's why you have to go look at it to see what it is that we're selling. You know, even though you have a buyer, you don't take the buyer to the property. You don't even tell the buyer. You don't even tell them that you have this until you have an asking price that you are comfortable with based on the condition of the property and a commission rate has been agreed on. Okay, you have to do it this way. It's called being a professional. Never present a property to a buyer without agreed on asking price and commission. So you got to go see it, see what you think it's worth, see if the seller's in the right ballpark with price and what commission rate they're willing to pay you if you, in fact, did bring the buyer. That has to happen before you present this, before you even tell them you might have a property. Don't even tell them you might have it until you've got this agreed on. All right. Then before you present it to the buyer, set the expectation with the seller that your buyer may or may not move forward. You're going to see. You're going to find out if, in fact, the buyer is interested in their house. I got the asking price and commission. This seems exactly like they want. Let me put it in front of them and see what they say. Go to the buyer, present it to them, get their feedback, take it back to the seller. The seller the buyer may say, yeah, I want to see it. Or they may say, hey, you know what? We want this house over here. We want this other house we saw on Zillow over here. We want to make an offer on this other house. Okay, whatever happens, you bring that back to the seller. You say, hey, Mr. Seller, you know what? They found another house they like on Zillow. But like I said, the buyer may or may not move forward. In this case, they're going after this other house, right? And so that's when you start talking to them about what it looks like with listing the property. When you do this, you might sell it off market because you have a buyer. Or if that doesn't work out, hopefully you've built a relationship to the point where you understand why they want to sell, you know, what the case may be. You can even ask them, you know, listen, if my buyer doesn't buy this property, you know, would you be interested in putting your house on the market? And you can go ahead and have these conversations with your sellers. Got it? Cool. So you send out 1,000 of these babies, you're going to get 10 listings by the end of the year. Send out 1,000 in the next 30 days. All right. Let's hear from you guys. Go ahead and put a 3 if you're going to do this. Let's see who's actually committed to this and is going to go out here and execute on this. If you execute here, let's say you get 2 listings. Okay, well, that's 2 listings, and that's worth 1,000 letters right there. But you're going to talk to 50 to 100 of these property owners, maybe even 150, that you build a relationship with, put them in your database, do the weekly email, and continue nurturing those people until the day that they, in fact, want to buy or sell. So you're building your business short and long term at the same time here, both short and long term. All right. Cool. All right. So there we go. Boom. 10 from direct mail out the door.
Ricky, can you hear me? I have a question. Real quick, simple.
Go ahead.
Talk to me about the letter size. Is it just a regular sheet of paper? Is it a kind of a note, kind of a card, you know?
I like to do regular sheet. I like to do regular size. just like a regular
in a
letter.
regular envelope.
Regular letter, regular envelope. That way it's big.
Gotcha.
So it comes in there. It comes there, and it's like it's like the size of a business letter,
Yes.
right? Because sometimes when you get this little card, you may think, you know,
Yeah.
but if it's business, if it's a business size, you know, if you get it in a little card, you may think Christmas card, you may think,
Right.
you know, invitation to somewhere. But if it's a business size envelope, you're thinking, who the heck is this sending me this personalized handwritten letter? Guess what? They gonna open it.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
got their attention. And now it's
And-
one question. Would you consider selling your property at wherever to a prospect of mine? Huh. Well, I might. Let me send this person a text, an email. Let me call. Let me see what's going on here. And that's what you're going to get. Text messages, emails, and phone calls.
All right. And just a white envelope as well, right?
Yep.
All right.
Simple as can be. Nothing fancy.
And that's a cheap investment. That's a cheap investment.
It really is. It really is. I've
Hey,
sold
Rick-
so much property off of that. Let's hold the questions till the end. I got a lot more I want to cover. We're already 46 minutes in. I want to take some questions at the end. I don't want to get in the weeds here.
Don't fucking figure that damn shit out on yourself.
Let's
Where am I?
see.
This is that's right, please.
Yeah, bam. There we go. All right. And by the way, guys, thank you for being here. I hope you're getting a lot of value out of this. There's 650
welcome.
people. 650 people here. And that means a lot. So I appreciate it. Okay. Expireds. Let's see. What did I have here for expireds? So what we're going to do with expireds is this. I've got training, and it's on the link in my Instagram bio. I'll put it in the description. Actually, let me grab it. Let's see. I'll go to my Instagram. Let me go here to my profile. Let me go to the link in my bio. Okay, see right here, the third one down, listing, expired listing training. Let's see. Here's the replay link. Let's see, I'm going to copy this link address. I'm going to drop this in the chat for you guys that are watching live. I'll put it in the description. Anybody watching on the replay? But what we're going to do there to get 10 listings. So that training there basically teaches you how to use RedX to go back 10 years worth of expireds. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the free trial right here. And you're going to get expireds plus, geo leads plus, and a multi-line dialer. And you're going to go back 10 years worth of expireds. Now, once the expireds are, you have that folder and you've got those 10 years of expireds, the new expireds every day are automatically going to show up in that folder. So it's just going to be, even if you don't call expireds for a week or two, all of those expireds are building in that folder. And whenever you do get to the point where you want to call them, they're all there ready to roll. All right. The sweet spot that we have found is the 2 to 18 month old expireds. Now, I love all expireds. I'll call the ones that expired today. I'll call the ones that expired yesterday, last week, whatever. But what we've really found to be the sweet spot is this 2 to 18 month old expireds. Okay. And I can share with you the script that we use. But the goal here is going to be to build a list of 20 expireds that you talk to that are considering to relist their property. And you may call these expireds, you know, Mondays and Wednesdays, or Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, or Mondays and Thursdays, or whatever days you're going to call the expireds. But I definitely want you to call them on Mondays for sure. I want you to start out the week with expireds, 3 hours of expireds. Okay. And the entire goal is to find 20 of them in the next 90 days who say they're considering to relist their property. So think about that. You've got 10 years worth of data, more than you'll ever call. You'll never call all of them. And what you're going to do is you're going to call Red X and say, hey, walk me through the process. I want it in my folder, the last 10 years worth of expireds, withdrawns, and cancels. You want all of them. And make sure to tell them not to filter out the ones that resold. You want all of them. And now you've got all that data there. And so now you just start calling them. And what we're looking for is we're going to start making a list of expireds who are considering to relist. Okay. And we want to make that list 20 long. So day one, maybe you find 3. Day 2, maybe you find 2 more. So there you got 5. Build that list to 20 over the next 90 days. If a couple of them list, or whatever, they're off that list of people considering, now they're listed. Keep building it. Keep it at 20. If you do this, you will get 10 listings in the next 90 days through expireds, no doubt. Now, why don't I filter out the ones that sold? Mandy, are you too shy? Would you unmute for a second, or is that too much to ask?
There, I'm unmuted.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
What do you think the reason would be that I would care if they sold or not?
Because they could sell again.
I mean, you're asking me why I don't filter them out. Why would I filter them out?
I guess they're no longer an expired listing if they've already sold, but they could sell again, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So you answer your own question. See, the thing is, and I'm just going to repeat this from earlier, I'm not trying to list the property. I'm trying to use the property as an excuse to talk to a property owner in my market to see if I connect with them on a personal level, see what it is they want to do now and why, now or later, and why. And if they have an agent they normally work with, if there's an opportunity that I could work with them, if there's something I could do to help them whenever they decide to buy or sell. So I don't care. Here's the script. I'm going to call and I'm going to say, hey, Mr. Johnson. Hey, Mr. Johnson, it's Ricky Carruth at whatever real estate company in whatever area. How you doing today? Good, man. Me too. I'm enjoying the day. Isn't it gorgeous out there? Great. Well, listen, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I see you were trying to sell this house on Winterford Road at one point. I was just calling to see what ever happened with that. Boom. And now they're going to say, in your case of what you're saying, oh, we sold that one. We sold that one a long time ago. That one's been gone. Oh, okay, cool. Where'd you move to? Do you like it? Do you think you might move again soon? Do you like rental properties? Do you have an agent you're going to work with? At what point do you think you'll need an agent in the future? I'd love the opportunity to work with you. Is it okay if I stay in touch? Great. What's a good email? Bada bing, bada boom. I'm in the game. Right? So it doesn't matter to me if they sold that property. I want to talk to people in my market, and I got to build my influence. Okay. So there you have it. Okay. I put a link to that expired training, which is that's a good training session. If you guys haven't seen it, just take a second, listen to it on your commute, working out, whatever you do, listen to that one. You'll get a lot out of it. I really dig deep into the expired thing, but the whole point of getting 10 expired listings over the next 90 days is to use RedX, go back 10 years worth, call them from today, going back 10 years, start it today and just work your way back. For sure, every Monday for 3 hours, start your week out, because the reason I want you to start on Monday is because these conversations are so incredible. You don't even know until you called these expireds and said, hey, I see you were trying to sell this property at one point. Whatever happened with that? And see how they respond. You're going to be blown away at how amazing these conversations are, because what it does is it creates this curiosity, and it's like you're trying to get to the bottom of this mystery, and now they start to become your little helper trying to help you solve the puzzle. It's crazy. And you just have such incredible conversations that blossom into so much business. I sold so many expireds, but I represented them as a buyer agent. Like they bought something and I was the agent that sold it to them. Like I realized through the conversation, they didn't really want to sell anymore. They just wanted to buy this other property. and I helped him do it. Most coaching programs is so focused on trying to handle objections and set the appointment and get this listing. It's like, what if they want to buy something else? You know what I mean? Can we like just talk to them like they're human for a second and see what it is they want to do and see if we can help them do it? All right, cool. So if you have any questions about any of this, just write them down, hold them to the end. Shane, are you around?
Yep, I'm here.
Cool. Good to see you, bro. So this is Shane Noblin. He's in North Carolina. This dude picked up 10 for sale by owners in the last 30 days. He's actually been crushing for sale. How many for sale by owners have you sold this year?
Well over 40, almost 50.
50 for sale by owners this year, right? This is nuts. Yeah. When he gets through and we get into the bonus stuff, I want to teach you guys how to use RedX to filter out the absentee owners. Also to filter, if you want to do high-end luxury, how to just call, say, $1 million and up or $2 million and up or $5 million and up properties. And also investors. So I'm going to get into all the bonus stuff after Shane gets through with telling you his little strategy on for sale by owners, and you guys are really going to enjoy this. So Shane, take it away, sir.
Hey, everybody. I hope y'all are having a good time here. Ricky always brings the fire. Ricky, can I share screen? Is that set?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what I like to start with is I frequently get people that come into my Zoom room that are concerned that they're not going to be able to find any for sale by owners in their market, right? It's not a lot of them out there. So I wanted to do a quick screen share to show you guys how I filter for the for sale by owners in my market. This is going to be the screen, the home screen you guys get to on Zillow, and you just type in your area code. And then what I like to do here is open this map up. All right. And I want to set my range out roughly an hour to an hour and a half from my home location. So if I do that, this is a little big, but this will be a good example. I live right here in the Chowan River, and you want to remove your boundary. And these are all agent listings. So you're going to go over to more, and you're going to hit by owner and other. You're going to get rid of agent listed, new construction, foreclosure, auctions, and coming soon. Then you're going to hit apply, and that's going to give you all of the for sale by owner homes that are in your market. Now, I just put on my YouTube channel a phone call I had with this gentleman, right, just 3 days ago, and it had only been on for a day or two, and it was an instant listing. I went out and got a signed listing agreement when I left. But there are 174 here that are within this range on the map that you can go after immediately. All right. The way that I go after these is, of course, I use Zillow to pull the numbers, and then I call this a script, but I don't like using the term script, right? Because if we're reading from a script, we sound like we're reading from a script. We want to have a conversation, a comfortable conversation with these FSBOs, and we want to align ourselves on the same side of the fence as they are, because a FSBO has a primary objection, right? And that objection is, I'm not going to use a real estate agent. And you don't want to allow that FSBO to be the first person to voice that objection, because if you do, then you have to overcome it. You have to get on the same side of the fence as they are. So my opening line, these are my 5 non-negotiable sentences that go into every FSBO call, right? My opening line is always the same. I say, good morning. Now, I don't have their name because Zillow doesn't have their name on there. So I don't go by their name. I just say, good morning. My name's Shane and I'm a local realtor. I see you have a property for sale by owner on Johnson Street. Is that right?
Yes. Can I get some boxes, please? Oh.
Hey, Ricky, can
nothing over there either?
Some in
the pot. Some in the cellar.
There we go. You'll have to unmute, Shane.
Perfect.
You there? Yeah.
All right. Yep. All right. So we want to start off the conversation on the same side of the fence. We want to position ourselves shoulder to shoulder with this FSBO, right? And so by saying, good morning, my name is Shane, I'm a local realtor, and I see you have a property for sale by owner on Johnson Street, is that right? I'm putting voice to their primary objection before they get a chance to. The only way they can answer this question is yes, that's right. And I go, awesome. Now, a lot of the filler in my conversations is just conversational. So I'll say something like, awesome. How's that going for you? Right? And my goal with this question, and it's not in my non-negotiables, but my goal is just to see how chatty this person's going to be. Are they having a good day? Or are they having a bad day? How is the rest of the conversation going to go? Now, you'll get short answer or long answer. So they'll either say, yeah, it's going great, or they'll give you a very long drawn out answer. Yeah, it's going really good. We've had a few showings. We've got one offer coming in, whatever the case may be. So when they're done with short answer or long answer, I go, oh, okay, great. And this is my next non-negotiable. This goes in every one of my calls. I say, awesome. Are you open to the idea of working with a buyer's agent if the offer makes sense? Now, we want to lean heavy on curiosity and very light on salesmanship, right? You wouldn't go sell your grandmother. You wouldn't use your sales tactics on your grandmother. You would ask her questions out of curiosity to figure out how you could best help your grandmother. And it's no different here, right? Curiosity will get you in the door, whereas salesmanship will get the door shut in your face. So I say, are you open to the idea of working with a buyer's agent if the offer makes sense? Now, frequently, most of the time, they understand what you're saying and they're like, yeah, sure. If it's a good offer, we would, consider it coming from a buyer's agent. Occasionally, though, you'll get someone that says, well, do you have a buyer? Right? Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not coming from the standpoint of trying to trick them into allowing me to see their property. So I want to be clear. At this point, I don't have a buyer. I'm primarily a listing specialist. I spend a lot of time working with sellers that are having a hard time selling their listing, like expired properties where the other agent wasn't able to get their property sold, or for sale by owners, much like yourself, where probably through nothing more than just lack of exposure, a lot of for sale by owners aren't able to get their house sold. I can come in and through my marketing techniques and whatnot, potentially give you guys a big win. But my question is, are you open to the idea of a buyer's agent if it's a good offer? See, you want to be careful when you're answering their questions that you don't get into this loop of them asking the questions and you getting stuck answering them, right? So if they ask you a question, you answer it, and then you finish it off with the question, or you finish it off with a statement and then a question. So it redirects the conversation down the path that you want to go. And they don't even realize what we're doing to them when we do this. So after asking if they're open to the idea of working with a buyer's agent, now, most of the time it's, yeah, sure, we're open to the idea. Occasionally it's no. And that's okay, because today the answer is no to that question, right? Tomorrow they find the perfect house in the school district that they want to be in, and all of a sudden they're in a different frame of mind. So we can't allow them to knock us off of our game because they give us an answer that we don't like. So regardless of what the answer is, I say, hey, that makes perfect sense, right? I'm constantly giving them attaboys. And again, standing shoulder to shoulder, we're going to attempt to help them with this process until they're fed up with the process and they throw their hands up. So after they say yes or no, I go, okay, great. Well, look, can I ask you a couple of questions about the property? Now, I'm looking at the Zillow listing and I see it looks like a fairly new roof on it. Is that something you guys had put on, or was it already there? Now, it's not necessarily that I care about how old the roof is, but what I'm attempting to do in this part of the conversation is kickstart their salesperson. See, for sale by owners are kind of excited because they watch Selling Sunset, they watch all of these shows, and they think, well, yeah, all real estate agents do is open a door and make all this money. I can do that. I'm a great salesperson. So typically with one question, how's the roof? How's the HVAC? What kind of additions or what kind of modifications have you guys done to the place since you bought it? Something along those lines. Typically, they'll start telling you stories about what they've done with the house, right? Yeah, well, the roof was just put on back in 21. We put architectural shingles on. They got a 25-year system in. And the cool thing is that the contractor wanted to sell me a Goodman, but everybody knows Train is the best. So we paid extra money to get a Train. And they'll go down this path of just telling you how wonderful their house is, right? So once they have gone down that path a little bit and it's starting to wind down, at that point, I'll drop in with, well, what has you guys wanting to leave this place? It seems like the perfect place for you, or it seems like you put your blood, sweat, and tears in it, or it seems like whatever it is they just said, right? That was so fantastic about it. Why would you want to sell it? Why not just stay there? Now, you're saying that, which is against your better interest, which makes them comfortable to open up and tell you exactly their motivation and their timeline, right? So typically, it sounds something like this. When you say that, they go, yeah, well, we'd love to stay here. We'd love to pick this house up and move it to the next location, but we can't. And my husband just got a new job, so he has to relocate. Or my daughter is headed off to college, so we're going to downsize. Or we just got pregnant, so we're going to upsize. Whatever the deal is, they'll give you motivation and they'll give you timeline. And I go back to my tried and true. I'm like, hey, well, that makes perfect sense. Well, I tell you what, and this is my next non-negotiable. This goes in every call. I say, I tell you what, I'm going to shoot you over my email so you can put a face to a voice. Or I'm sorry, I'm going to shoot you over my resume so you can put a face to a voice. What's a good email for you? For the most part, FSBOs all give you their email. And these are great emails to dump into your database because they're selling a house right now. And when they sell this house, chances are going to have to buy something after this one sells. So you're exposing people to your marketing that are potentially doing 2 deals immediately, right? So they're great emails to have in your database. So once they read off the email, then I go, okay, great. Well, when we get off here, I'm going to send that right over so you can meet me on paper. And then this is my next non-negotiable. And I say, but let me ask you this. And again, we're heavy on curiosity. I say, let me ask you this. Hypothetically, if the property doesn't sell in the next 30 or 45 days, at that point, are you planning on exploring other options? Right? Most of the time, they completely understand what you mean by that. And by phrasing it as a hypothetical and putting it out in the future, it takes a lot of the threatening nature out of the question, right? They're really comfortable again in saying, well, yeah, at that point, and typically this is the answer I get. Yeah, at that point, we'll probably start interviewing agents if it hadn't already sold. And I said, yeah, makes perfect sense. And then this is my final non-negotiable. And I go, okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be in your neighborhood anyway on Monday. I've got another appointment there at 1 o'clock. I'd love to stop by and meet you guys, drop off some paperwork to help you sell it on your own and get a quick look at the place. Fair enough. So now I always hit them with all 3. Every once in a while, I'll accidentally just say, I'd love to come by at 4 o'clock and see the place. And then they always drop in with, well, are you bringing a buyer? Right? I want to set the expectation that I'm not coming with a buyer in tow. And by hitting them with all 3, I'd love to come by and meet you guys, drop off some paperwork to help you sell it on your own, right? And then get a quick look at the place. Typically, the way that my numbers have worked for the last 12 months is for every 10 conversations I have with a for sale by owner, I'm able to set 8 appointments to get in front of them. Out of those 8 appointments, I am pulling down 1 listing on the very first appointment. And then the other one's going to my follow-up plan. Now, my follow-up plan is really easy. I actually have a folder system where I keep all these. I've got a data sheet for each FSBO. I fill that out, right? And then these data sheets, I'm a paper and pen guy. These data sheets go into manila folders. I've got my daily follow-up folder. I've got my weekly follow-up folder, and I've got my monthly follow-up folder. Once you have had these conversations with these FSBOs and you've sent them over your resume and you've had your appointment, then you're going to call them every Monday. Every Monday morning, you're going to call them. And those calls are really easy. It'll go ring, ring, ring. They'll answer the phone and you'll say, hey, Jim. Yeah. Hey, this is Shane. We spoke last week about your property. How was your weekend? Right. And then you just see what they say. Wanted to make sure you got my resume. Wanted to let you know about a property that just hit the next neighborhood over that might be a competitor for you. Wanted to let you know what happened with the interest rates last week, right? We had a good bump. Whatever the case may be, there's always something to talk about. And what's really cool is that about the second or third Monday that you're doing the follow-up call with this prospect, they'll answer the phone instead of saying hello. They say, hey, Shane, how was your weekend? right? And that's when you know them. They've got you locked into their phone and they know your rhythms. And when they get fed up, so the ones that you don't end up getting, the ones that you don't end up securing on that first appointment, you're waiting for the pain in the market, the pain that we experience, that we try to shield them from when we're representing them. You're waiting for that pain to get to the point where they throw their hands up and they say, you know what, I'm done with this. They do come list me calls. They'll call and say, Shane, come on, let's do it. Let's get it on the market and get it sold. And you're not competing against other agents. You're not having to go in with a great big presentation, bells and whistles and hoops, right? All you have to do is go list the property. And those are the best ones to get, the ones where you're not competing against other people. I see a lot of people asking about the documents. I'll send Ricky over my data sheet and the resume and the stuff. I also have a Zoom cold call coaching room where you guys can come in anytime and I'll work with you one-on-one doing these calls. But I'm having the time of my life going after these for sale by owners.
Hey, Shane?
And virtually every call is a good call. Yeah. I'll send that 5-sentence script over to Ricky as well, so he can post it with the video.
Two questions for Shane. Go ahead. Does somebody I thought somebody said Shane.
Yeah. Hey guys, thank you.
Hey Nick.
Hey, how are you? Want to ask you in the early part of the non-negotiables, I didn't catch what you said when right after if they ask you if you have a buyer that you're working with, and then you want to be upfront with them and say, no, I don't have a buyer. What's the transition on that one?
Yeah, so what I'll say is no, actually, I don't have a buyer. I'm a listing specialist. I spend a lot of time, like right now, I have 16 listings. I spend a lot of time working with sellers that are having a hard time selling their house, whether it's expired properties that the other agent wasn't able to get them a big win, or for sale by owners, much like yourself, that maybe through, nothing more than just lack of exposure, you guys aren't able to get a big win. It's not to say that I'm not going to come across some buyers from time to time that are calling on my properties, but no, I don't have a buyer at this point. Because what they're hearing from a lot of other agents out there is, hey, I'm working with a lot of buyers. I'd love to come see your property to see if it's a good fit for any of them. Or they'll come with fake buyers. I've seen that a lot, where they come in with their cousin so that they can get in front of somebody. And when you're being disingenuous, it's very hard to be authentic, right? Like we have eons of being able to kind of sniff out deceit. And so it's just really hard to pull off tricks like that when you're not being real with them. And they're confused when you're real with them. Like you put them back on their heels a little bit by telling them the exact truth and being straight up with them. Did somebody else have a question?
Are you offering like a reduced commission for all these to compete with these flat fee people, and everyone offering 1% and everything?
Right. So 5% is pretty standard in my area. Every once in a while, you can squeak out 6%, to split 3-3 for the co-broke. But what I do is I do a flexible commission structure. So it's 5%, and this is the way I explain it. It's 5% is worst case scenario. And that's if I represent you guys and another agent brings me a buyer and I have to split the commission with them, then it's 2.5% each. However, I do a lot of my own marketing and I work really hard to try and bring the buyer to the table myself. If I'm able to do that, I'll do it at 4%. That'll save you percent on a $500,000 house. That's $5,000 in your pocket. And that's typically how I handle that conversation with them. I don't go underneath that, and I really haven't had to, because I win them with personality. I don't win them with percents.
Quick question. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Do you ever go the route with FSBOs of offering to host open houses, which is like a different transition of like, hey, you're building a relationship with them, and it's just like there's no catch to it because you're generating buyers, and then you're actually earning credibility with them, marketing their house for free. Has that something you ever tried?
So for my preview appointment, I bring an open house sign-in sheet with me. I also bring my for sale by owner backup plan, a for sale by owner marketing toolkit. I bring active comps and I go over who they're competing with in the market currently. I explain to them the importance of, if they're going to do an open house, having people sign in the sheet, and then 2-3 days later, reaching back out to them. The open houses are reserved for the people that have decided that they're going to trust me to sell their house.
Cool. Shane, your Zoom room is just, if they go to Shane with an S, shaneszoomroom.com.
Yep.
All right. So Shane's in his Zoom room helping agents with their calls. He's making calls. Other agents are making calls. What times on what days are you there?
So I'm there 8:30 in the morning till 6:30 at night, Monday through Friday.
Cool.
If I'm
And
on an
that's-
appointment,
and
then
that's
on the way to
Eastern.
that appointment, Eastern, yes,
Yeah.
yes. 8:30 to 6:30 Eastern, Monday through Friday.
Mhm.
If I'm headed to an appointment, I'll have it up on my phone so that I can kind of monitor what's going on in the room, answer questions, help out where I can. And I've got a bunch of videos of me making these calls on YouTube.
What's the name of your channel?
Yeah, it's Next Level Agent 441. You guys can go over
Next
there and you can
Level
see
Agent 411.
441.
I got it. 441 right here. Let's see. Bam, bam. I want to put this in the chat. Let's see. All right, here's Shane's YouTube channel where he's making live calls and stuff. Let me make a list here. I got the Red X free trial. I need to put in the description. Shane's Zoom room. Shane's YouTube. Expired training. Scripts, all the normal stuff I put. What other links have I said today, guys, that I need to put into the description for the replay? Oh, the Google sheet. I'll put the Google sheet up in there.
Red X discount.
Yeah, I got that. The free trial. All right, cool. All right, well, everybody give Shane a round of applause. I know you guys got a lot of value out of that. Thank you, Shane, for coming in and doing that. Let's see, where am I at here? All right. God's straight animal. 50 for sale by owners. At one point, there was like 700 plus agents on here. That's crazy, guys. I mean, that's nuts. All right. So here's our plan, like kind of laid out. And then I want to get into these little bonus areas here for you. All right. So this is what we're going to do. All right. Over the next 30 days, let's try to knock this out in the next 30 days. That way we take the next 60 days to actually convert all this business. Okay. So like in the next 30 days, call expireds until you've found, well, first off, 1,000 handwritten letters. All right. 1,000 handwritten letters. We're going to get 10 listings there, and we're going to plant tons of seeds. All right. 20 expireds that are considering to relist. We're going to call expireds, say, hey, whatever happened there, get into a conversation and find out, in fact, if they're considering to relist that property or another property. And we want to create a list of 20 expireds that are considering to relist. If one of these expireds lists, then they're not on this list anymore. Now it went from 11 to 10. Now we need to get it to 20, keep it at 20. Where do you find the expired phone numbers? So you're going to go to RedX. They have a free trial right now for expireds. Let's see, is it here? No, that's Shane's YouTube. They got a free trial. Let's see, where's it at? Where's it at? Bam. 14-day free trial. It's going to give you Geo Leads Plus, Expireds Plus. You can also get for sale by owners, for rent by owners, and all that on there as well.
Ricky, I got a question real quick.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Does RedX work for the Canadian market like it does for the American market?
They give you, let's see, what do they give you? I think they give you for sale by owners and Geo Leads or whatever. Telelisting is what our Canadian guys use to get property owners and stuff. So what I would do is call Red X because they do have products there. So figure out what products they have and take advantage of them. And just tell them my name.
What do you think of with Red X versus something like PropStream? You know, where it's pretty much the same thing, right? What is the benefits of?
Every year we do a test. We test them all out for a couple of weeks. Red X has been the winner for us, you know, hands down every year. Quality of data, you know, software, user friendliness, features. So is it a personal preference? Sure. If you want to use PropStream, go use it. Doesn't matter. We like Red X. All right, cool. So this is what we're going to do, guys. Let's try to knock this out in the next 30 days so that we can, you know, we can get these 30 next listings, right? 1,000 handwritten letters. All right. We're going to find 20 expireds that are considering to relist, and we're going to call every for sale by owner in our market using Shane's strategy here. Okay. We're going to get 10 listings here. We're going to get 10 listings here, and we're going to get 10 listings here. Now, before I move on to these bonus leads and everything, okay, let's see, how the heck do I get out of here? Before I move on to these bonus leads, okay, especially for the people in the very beginning, I said, hey, put a 1 if you feel like getting 30 listings in the next 90 days is something that you think is tangible and possible. Okay, a lot of you put 1. I said put a 2 if you feel like, oh my God, 30 listings is crazy. There's no way I can get 30 listings. I've gotten 3 listings in my entire career. Even if you're a brand new agent, if you do what I just said, you can go out there and take 30 listings. So what I want to know is the people who didn't feel like this could be possible, after you've seen what you've seen here today, have we changed your mind? Do you now feel like it's possible to go out there and get 30 more listings in the next 90 days? Okay. It's 100% possible. Not only that, it's easy. If you just do the stuff. And by the way, what I'm telling you to do right here should have been what you've been doing the whole time. You could just be picking up 30 listings every 90 days. You could have been doing this the whole time. But it's so crucial, guys, to do it right now, this time of year, because you don't have time to really dig in and write 1,000 letters and call all these people when it's the busy season. I can't stress it to you enough. You got to do it now. And if you do it now, not only do you get it done and you expand that influence and you expand the footprint that you have in the market, but you also go into the next year with a ton of inventory when in a market with no inventory. So guess who the king is going to be? You. You're going to be the king. Everybody's going to be calling you and wondering how you did it. And be like, oh, I went on this Zoom call back in, you know, September, and this crazy guy from Alabama, he was yelling and screaming at us, and he told us it was possible, and I didn't really believe it. And all of a sudden, I got 29 listings. All right. Let's see. Let's see. No, I actually write the 1,000 letters or get a teenager to write it for $5 or something, right? It doesn't need to be copied. You don't need to like write it and then copy that. They need to like see that it's like ink on the paper. Don't copy a letter, guys, because then nobody's going to call you. All right. Everybody can see that a mile away. All right, let's get into these other things.
What about the mailers address?
What? What's that?
The letter is going to be handwritten.
Yes, the address and everything. You handwrite everything. Because when you handwrite everything, what happens? They open it. What happens if you don't handwrite everything? They don't open it. Okay? I guarantee you 90% of the people that get that letter are going to open it. If you have anything on there that looks like you mass produced these, like a sticker for the return address or something or whatever, that open rate's going to go down big time. Somebody said about social media. Here's what we're going to do with social media. In the very beginning, I told you what, your daily routine. MLS hot sheet, calls from 9 to 12, and all afternoon, what did I say to do? Make videos, make social media. So what are we doing with social media? Well, you guys are actually doing social media wrong. You're using social media and YouTube and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Most of you are using it, to put out content to try to attract buyers to your business, right? That's what it seems like a lot of you are doing. If you use social media to attract buyers, that's your purpose. Put a 1 in the chat. If you're using it to strategically get listings, put a 2 in the chat. And if you're not using social media at all, put a 3 in the chat. If you're not utilizing it whatsoever. So here's how you use it. Okay. You post a video every single day, number 1. So after lunch, after you made your calls, you do your video and then you go on your appointments in the afternoon. Okay. Go to a listing. Maybe you're doing one of those where you're showing the listing with great music in the background. Maybe it's you talking. I don't know what your video is going to be. But the point is when you make a video every day, what does that do? It creates engagement around your profile and it boosts the number of accounts that hit your profile every month in the past 30 days. Okay. What are you going to do with that? Well, when you go to these listing appointments with these for sale by owners, with these expireds, with the people on the handwritten letters, you're going to be able to say, hey, I get, like 20,000 people a month see my profile. I get, 15,000 impressions a month or 50,000 impressions a month or whatever the number is for your profile. You get 5,000, whatever it is, impressions a month on your profile. Now you can use that to say, hey, any agent can go and put your property on MLS. Okay. And do all that stuff. But what I also bring to the table is I've got influence here. I've got, 12,000 impressions a month of people that are looking at properties on my profile that I'm going to be pushing your property with. So like if you notice a lot of these guys that use social media to get business, it's like some of them are making these funny videos. You guys have seen the realtors making the funny videos. Well, guess what they do? They take all those impressions to their listing appointment and say, we have videos that get 50,000 views, and the seller's like, oh my God, we want you because we want our property to have 50,000 views on the video when you make the listing video for our property. So what you do is when you get the listing, you make a great listing video. Maybe you make it funny, maybe you make it whatever, and then it gets great traction. So you've made the seller happy through the video. Maybe you find a buyer for the property. See, that's where you should be trying to attract buyers, is to your listings, not just attracting buyers just for the sake of attracting buyers, just random buyers in the market that may be looking at stuff. Heck, I don't want buyers. Do you want 30 active listings or you want 30 active buyers? Okay. Put a 2 if you want 30 active buyers. You want 30 buyers, Tamara? Over 30. Put a 2 if you want buyers. Y'all are putting 2. So you're telling me you want buyers? I mean, 30 active buyers are going to run you all around. Like you don't have a life. But if you got 30 listings, right, you're chilling at the house at 6 o'clock eating dinner with your family, like I'm about to do, while I know 8 of my 21 listings are being shown by agents who are using YouTube to attract buyers to their business. You got to think efficiency with this stuff. So the point of making a video every day, if you're only making a video once a week, your impressions on your profile is really low because you're not putting out any content. There's not enough content out there for people to look. But if you're posting every day, even if each video isn't getting a lot of traction, the overall impressions of your profile for the month, and you can look at that on your account. You can pull up all the analytics and data on your account for the last whatever week, 60 days, 90 days, whatever. And you can use that at your listing appointments. That's how you utilize social media to go out and drive business, drive people to your business, use it to drive buyers to your listings, and utilize it to get more listings. Got it?
Hey, Ricky, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So say there at the end of your street, there's that $2 million house FSBO, and you get them on the phone, you talk with them, and they say, okay, bring me a buyer. Where would you go to find that buyer?
It's a for sale by owner. It's already advertised. It's got a for sale by owner sign in the yard and all that stuff.
All that.
I'm just keeping my ears open for a buyer. I mean, the point is that we're staying in touch and making a great connection with this seller. We're saying, hey, do you have, I'm going to keep my ear open for a buyer. I'm going to look for a buyer. At what point when you guys do throw in the towel here, right? If it hasn't sold by, in the next 2 months or whatever, when you decide that possibly list the property, do you have an agent already that you're going to work with on this? Try to establish where you stand in the pecking order of a possible choice for them as a listing agent when the time comes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Try to establish what that is. Also, why they're selling, like understand why they're selling, right? Really go deep there. I can't say that enough. Like keep digging and keep digging and keep digging. And then you just work it from there. If you run into a buyer, great. If you run into somebody that wants to take a look at it, take them by there, right? But if you don't, you don't. I mean, what are you going to do? Spend time trying to like advertise and work to sell this for sale by owner? There's plenty of other owners out there. You kind of play it like 1 foot in, 1 foot out is what I'm saying. You're not like all in trying to find a buyer for this house, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a for sale by owner. You're not representing them. You should have clients that have listed with you that have actually hired you to go sell their property. Those should be the people that you're spending time trying to find a buyer for their house, not the guy down the road that hasn't hired you to do so. And if you don't have any listings and nobody's hired you to do so, then again, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You'll keep your ear open, but you're not going to go break your back trying to find a buyer for that property. You're going to break your back trying to find a seller that actually will hire you to sell their property. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The energy I hear that you want to spend trying to find a buyer for that house should be spent trying to find a listing, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Hey, Ricky, I got a question about the expireds. So great follow-up program with the FSBO stuff. That was awesome. As far as the expireds go, that was every Monday, he was saying. How often, in your experience, I know you work a lot of expireds over the years, how often do you expire or follow up with that 20? So you get that list of 20 that are kind of in the mix, and then how often do you hit them?
It depends on why they want to sell.
Okay.
I don't
A
know.
little bit hotter off some more. Yeah.
I have to know why they want to sell, what their real situation is. That tells me how I'm going to follow up. And then I create that follow-up plan with them so they know what the process is. And then I have it on my schedule when I'm supposed to follow up with them. Maybe they want to buy something. So now it's a whole different direction. Maybe they're like, oh, it didn't really sell because we need to paint it. So we're going to paint it. So we've got a painter ready. He said he's going to be done in 2 weeks. Then we're going to start interviewing more agents or something, right? We didn't like our last agent. We're going to paint it. It's going to be 2 weeks. And then we're going to interview, other agents. If you would like to interview for the job, then blah, blah, blah. That's kind of a shoe-in. Like if they're interviewing, they're definitely going to sit down and talk to you. You know what I mean? It just depends on the situation. There's not like a one size fits all. Here's how you follow up with every prospect. It's like so customized around each prospect situation.
Okay, and then as far as the so that 1,000 letters is a great idea. So I'm gonna definitely do that. Now the follow-up calls following up on it. I've got RedX, so I know how to use it all for geo prospecting and stuff like that. When you're pulling them, I just got reamed out because I've been calling the DNC people, and they're the best numbers by far. You actually get people on the phone, which is great. Now I did just get torn a new one yesterday. Hopefully it doesn't go anywhere, but your thoughts on that? I kind of know where you sit on it, but as far as
I've never had any
guys,
issues, man. I've never had any issues.
Neither have I until yesterday, but probably won't go anywhere, but okay.
It's to everybody's discretion of where their risk tolerance is. If you don't want to call them, then you're going to have a really low pickup rate because DNCs are the best quality numbers. That's the cell phones. That's the actual numbers. I think some of the, this is off the record, even though I'm talking to the world, that I feel like some of the companies may label some things as DNC, even though they may or may not be, just to cover their self, right? I don't know.
I don't buy that they're all DNC because
I just never have had a problem. I'm calling to see if there's anything in the world I could do to help this person today. I'm not calling to say I have a house for sale for you to buy, an investment property. I'm not calling to sell your house today. This is Ricky Carruth at whatever real estate company. I'm not selling my house. Well, that's not why I'm calling, ma'am. First off, so let's get that out of the way. I'm not calling to buy your house or get you to sell your house. All right. Can we move to the next part of the conversation? What I'm calling is to let you know that a house sold or whatever, and just to see if there's a chance I could get to know you for a second, see if I could help you maybe in the future when you did decide to maybe buy or sell. There's a lot of rules out there with calling with survey questions. There's actually certain states that real estate agents are protected from DNC completely. There's a lot of like gray area here in all this. And that's why you never really see the big lawsuits. The big lawsuits have been against brokerages that have a lot of money. It's just like the lawsuit going on now with the buyer agent commission and Remax trying to settle out for 55 million and Anywhere trying to settle out for 83.5 million. Why are they writing these big checks here? For a case that should be easily won by them. Well, it's the nature of lawsuits. And when you get into these lawsuits, you get into a lot of unknowns. And, when you look down the barrel, it's like, well, there's a chance I could lose and it's $1 billion, or I could pay 55 now and get out of this scot-free, even though I know I'm innocent. And so that's what we've seen with these DNCs when Keller Williams paid $40 million for this lawsuit. What I understand from talking to people is that what happened there was it was voicemail drops to expireds, voicemail drops, not calls, voicemail drops that were probably very salesy and very mainstream coachy. When we're calling as a human to see what we could do to help people in our community, I don't think you're going to get, I'm not a lawyer and everybody has to see what their risk tolerance is, but I don't think anybody's ever gotten in trouble for that. I think people have gotten in trouble for robocalling, anyway, neither here nor there.
Most of the cases they're all usually big companies. I took a look at it, but anyway, appreciate it, man.
So look, guys, investors, let me hit these bonus ones for you and then let's do some Q&A. Okay, investors, this is what you need to say every single call. Write this one down. Every single call, at the end of the call, no matter if it's a for sale by owner, expired, circle prospecting, absentee owner, online lead, mom, dad, who cares? Doesn't matter. Any person you call at the end of the call, whether the call went good or bad, you're going to say, cool, well, listen, before I let you go, and this could be a bad call. Like they could have like gotten mad at you and, like they're cussing you out. Like, okay, sir, well, listen, let me ask you this before you go. If I had a great deal on a rental property, would you be interested in that? Right? Try to bring it back to life. I've brought in so many bad conversations back to life like that. Let me see. Bam, bam. Get you muted right quick. Take me off. No matter who we're talking to, we need to ask this question. Why? Because investors buy no matter what the market's doing. They buy and sell no matter what the market's doing. So we need to build a list of investors. So the 1,000 letters, the 20 active expires that might relist, call all the for sale by owners in your market, and then build a list of investors. Because everybody you talk to, you say, hey, if I had a great deal on a rental property, would you be interested? And then see what they say. They might say, sure, what do you got? Well, I have stuff all the time that comes across my desk. What do you like? Single family, multi, duplexes, fourplexes, apartments, commercial, warehouse, industrial. What do you like? And then you make a list of your investor clients and keep that list. And then guess what? You take one of those, you take that investor and say they like single family homes, this age, this size, boom. You pull them up and Send 1,000 letters out. Would you consider selling your house wherever to a prospect of mine? Boom. Somebody calls you back. You got a buyer? Yep, I got a buyer. You really want to sell? Why? Cool. Well, let me come up, take a look and see what we can sell it for and agree on a price and a commission. I'll present it to my buyer. Boom. They do that. Present it to your investor client that you met asking this question. It's all full circle. Okay. We create our own demand. You could literally create your own market, guys. The market doesn't matter. Okay. For rent by owners, these are people who own the property and trying to manage it themselves. So these for rent by owners, that's a product on RedX where they just put them in your account every day. Any new ones that pop up, boom, for rent by owners. Call them up and say, hey, I'm a local real estate agent. I see you trying to, rent this property. How's it going with that? You having any trouble? I'm just trying to catch a gauge on the rental market here locally. I hear rent's going down. I'm just trying to get a gauge for it because I have people that are wanting to rent stuff that come to me all the time. Maybe I can keep your property in mind. Okay, cool. Have that conversation. See where it goes. Are you looking to pick up any more rental properties? Because investors, they're going to deal with the agent that brings them the deal. That's what's cool about investors, right? They may be loyal to this agent over here, but chances are if you bring them the deal, they're going to deal with you. So that's an easy way to build your list of investors. I called these one time live. It's still on YouTube. It was butter. Like it was those are great leads. And absentee owners, these are people that do not own the property. All right, so let me get right here. I'm just going to show you guys really quickly in RedX how to filter these and also how to filter like higher priced. You can filter anything you want with this. You get GEO Leads Plus and you can filter through, but you can also filter like the expireds. If you only wanted if you go back 10 years worth of expireds and you want, so what you do, let's say like here's expireds. Let's see. Let's go to, so you scroll right here to more filters. Bam. All right. I'm going to clear them. Okay. Now let's just say expireds just for example. I got 3,700 right there. See what this, okay. Just added a few because it added the expires for today. All right. So I got 3,748. All right. Let's say I only want absentee owners. So I'm going to go to listing right here and I'm going to click include non-owner occupied. Just click that box. Then I'm going to hit close right here. And it took it from 3,700 to 1,600. Now let's go to GEO Leads. I mean, you can pick any folder you want of properties you've looked up. Same thing. I go here. It's already got it because I've already got this filter on. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, so here, non-owner occupied, it brings it from 46 to 25. So none of these people live in this property. I could call them and say, hey, I know you don't live there. I don't know if you rent it, it's a second home or whatever. The market's up. Didn't know if you'd be interested in possibly selling it or whatever you want to, wherever you want to go with that. Now, let's say you want to do high-end luxury. Okay. And you've got a list. Let's just say this is the list. You just go right here, include price. Let's just say you want, 2 million and up. You just put 2 million right there and you hit close and it goes from 3,700 to 86. So these are all 2 million and up properties that I could just boom, start calling if I wanted that. You can filter this down however you want. It's crazy. All right. Let's see. Did I cover everything? Let's see what I got. Let's see what I got. Put your hand up in the Zoom if you have a question. All right. 30 listing challenge. Create your own demand. My business. My stats. What I learned. 2008. The market. The market. New listings coming up. Stack 30 listings now. This is how we're going to do it. 10, 10, 10. Bonus. Daily routine. Text me. 10, 10, 10. Here's our homework assignment and our bonus leads. I want to say we covered it all, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this Q&A, man. Let's see. Phil, what you got?
Hey, Ricky. So content creation is a little bit challenging for me, and I'm sure other non-creatives have the same trouble.
Kind of cutting out on me. I don't. Something's wrong with your mic or something.
I just put it in the chat. Easier.
You're gonna put something in the chat?
Yep, just now it might be easier.
Content creation is challenging for non-creatives. I have trouble coming up with content to fill up my social media daily. Take your phone, go to Instagram Reels, get in front of a house, click record, and film the home. You know, you're in your office, you're not at a house, you just got through with lunch, you made your call session that morning, go to Instagram Reels, click on Reels, put it up facing you, click start, say, hey guys, it's Phil over here. I just got through making calls and had a great lunch. I actually ate at this local place called, Martha's. It's amazing. I want to let you guys know I'm here the rest of the day. If you need anything whatsoever, I'm here to help you. If you're buying, if you're selling, I'm your guy. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Boom. There's your video for the day. The next day, talk about a specific listing, right? Like, document your day, guys. Have fun with it. Like I just said that off the top of my head as if I'm Phil. I don't know what Phil did. But that would have been a great video. Your people would have loved it. You know what I mean? Anyway. Aaron.
There. Hi. You have changed my life. Thank you so much. Okay, so I live in the mountains outside of just west of Denver, and I did the Zillow search for the for sale by owner. I have one in my whole territory, and I'm sure it's been hammered. Would you recommend going down to the city? It's like a bad word up here. I don't want to go down there, but there's like 15 just on this side of town, on the west side of town.
How far is the city?
Well, it's like 25 minutes, but then you get into all the traffic and all the crap and all the
you can be on the phone. Oh, I have to drive around to make tens of thousands of dollars. It's so horrible. It's like,
I've just
my
tried
goodness.
for years to specialize on mountain properties with septics, wells, easements, things like that.
And how's it going? How's it going?
Good, very good. But it could be better.
So your business is where you want it to be?
No, that's why I'm here.
Okay, there you go. So, you're up there specializing in the mountain stuff. So you either have to do one of two things. You have to call more mountain people to get more business going in the mountains, or you got to expand if that market isn't big enough to, support the type of business you want. You're doing all you can do there. If you've exhausted all efforts to try to have as big a business as you want there locally, but you're not doing it because just the fact that the market is too small, then you've got to expand into the city. But when you go to the city and you're driving in traffic, guess what? You're on the phone. You got your earpiece in and you're talking to prospects all the way there and all the way back. So it's not like you're just in traffic doing nothing or driving, just aimlessly, getting all these listings in the city. You're also calling prospects and following up and, communicating with people while you're doing it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I would fear to say you haven't exhausted all efforts to create the business you want there locally. That would be step one for me. But if you have, then step two is you've got to expand into the city.
I'll write the letters first.
Yeah.
And see how it goes.
Yeah. That's a good first
all right,
step.
Thank you. Thank you.
Natalie.
Hi, sorry, I'm driving. I just kind of wanted to know what if we could rewatch this because I'm driving, so I want to take a couple notes. When and where would we be able to rewatch this just to reference back to?
Are you getting my text messages?
I am. I get them every day.
Got it. So I'm going to text it out probably tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Shelly.
Hi.
question. I'm here in California.
Are you a
And my
tree?
experience, no, I'm not a tree, but it's a very,
You
very,
look
very
like
bad
a
hair
tree. You look like a tree that doesn't move.
day. That's the beach. That's the beach in the background.
Oh,
But
okay. But I don't see you.
I've called, okay, yeah, I know.
Are you at the
I've
beach?
called, no, no, I'm not at the beach.
I'm just messing with you. What you got?
Okay. So when I've called Zillow in the past on the for sale by owners, I have agents calling me back rather than the sellers on the number that's supposed to be the owners. Do you guys run into that?
I wonder if Shane's still on the call. Shane, are you around?
Yeah, every once in a while I run into that. And I mean, if they have an agent, then you just bow out of the conversation and say, oh, well, I didn't realize it was listed. It looked like it was for sale by owner. I'll keep an eye out for it. Right. I'll keep an eye out for a buyer for it. And then you move to the next one.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if an agent calls you back, it's like, okay, I didn't realize it was on MLS. Right? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, if it's for sale by owner, because sometimes I think Zillow may have it connected where the for sale by owner call goes to an agent, even though it's not listed by an agent.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah. So have you ran into that, Shane?
No, I've never ran into that. I do for like when I'm trying to find for rent by owners on Zillow, that frequently is the case where it's a strange number that goes to someone else. But
here's another thing for you guys too, right? Google for sale by owners in your area. Don't just go to Zillow. Use Zillow, okay? But Google for sale by owners in your area, and you'll have for sale by owner.com. I think there's even like Fizbo.com. Go to realtor.com and look at Fizbos. Like Craigslist, like there's a lot of different sites where for sale by owners. Also, get this, okay? Drive around and look for sale by owner signs. Some of these for sale by owners don't even put them online. They just put a sign up and then that's it. And so what you do is you drive around, you see a sign, call it right then in the car. Take a picture of the sign and the address, like try to get the picture and the house and everything in the same picture or something, or take a couple pictures. And then when I did this a bunch of times, I would drive around and I would just call them right there on the road and say, hey, I'm driving around. I see your house right there. You know, I actually use Shane's stuff. Like I see it looks like it has a new roof, all that kind of good stuff. So don't just rely on Zillow or say, oh, there's no things on my day. Like go find for sale by owners. They're out there. I promise you.
Hey, Ricky, also you can get, all of us have contractors that we use every day, and we are not their only clients. Tell your contractors, I send you business frequently. Do me a favor. If you're out driving to a job site and you see a for sale by owner sign, snap a photo of it and text it to me. If I end up picking that up as a listing, I'll throw you some more work, you know, whatever the case may be. You're already feeding them every month. Why not get something in return?
Dude, there was 700 agents on here when we started this, and I talked about the 1,000 letter thing. Dude, if 700,000 letters hit the US, dude, because of this Zoom call, I mean, I doubt everybody's actually going to follow through. Like normally it's like what, 1%, guys? I mean, come on. But
Ricky, I wanted to ask you about those letters.
700,000. What's that?
I wanted to ask you about those letters. So are you picking neighborhoods, or I just didn't know if
pick neighborhoods in the criteria.
Okay.
Yeah, in the criteria of your buyer. You've got a buyer that can't find a property. Okay, there's thousands. You could take one buyer, and there's thousands of properties in your market that fit the criteria of that one buyer.
Yes.
You could take one buyer and do all 1,000 letters.
Right, but you're not picking like for instance, if your buyer is looking for a 4-bedroom home, 2,000 square feet, and it's like a subdivision, that meet that criteria.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'll send letters out to anything that's even close, even if it's a 3-bedroom. Because guess what? The buyer that needed a 4-bedroom, you found a 3-bedroom they really like.
Gotcha.
4-bedroom buyers buy 3 bedrooms all the time, and 3-bedroom buyers buy 4 bedrooms all the time.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Go ahead, Blaze.
Yeah, thanks, Ricky. Appreciate it. Ricky, just to touch on that 1,000 letters, because you said, when they're going to, if and when be calling you back, they're going to ask you if you in fact have a buyer. I mean, my intent with this 1,000, 1,000 letters is to just generate listings regardless if I don't have a buyer for that. So you're just going to just straight up be like, I don't have a buyer, but this is what I can do. That's kind of what I would like to know, what the route to go is if you don't have a specific buyer for that property. Because I'm from my township my whole life. I know every neighborhood, and I want to do that for
You
my
know
specific
every neighborhood, but you don't know any neighbors. Blaze, do you know any humans?
Yes.
Do you talk to them ever?
Of course, yeah.
Have you asked them if there was a really good deal out there, would they buy something?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and what do they say?
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah.
What do they say?
They're gonna be like,
yeah. Hold on. Let me see if let's see here. Bam. I'm back. Unmute again, Blaze.
So yeah.
No, I'm saying, have you talked to humans that you know and said, hey, if there was a great deal on a property, would you buy it? Have you asked them that?
No, but that's the route I'm going to be
That's all
going
you
now.
have to do, bro, is talk to a human and say, hey, if there was a great deal on a property, would you buy it? And then they say yes. And you say, great. What would that look like? Single family? What kind of price range would you like? Whatever. There you go. Send 1,000 letters out that fit the criteria of what that person would buy.
Sure. And then if it's so for a seller or a homeowner in my town, if they're not if I don't have a buyer for that, or like, they're gonna be calling me back, oh, like, do you have a buyer? And I'm gonna be like,
why would you send a letter out if you don't have a buyer?
Well,
get the buyer.
Go
ahead.
So I mean, I can be like more of like a general area, like a 3-bedroom, 4-bath. I mean, I wrote everything down you said, and my bad. I'm beating to your time. So of course I'm gonna go back to my buyer and just talk to them about the price before I go back to the homeowner, correct? So I want to make sure.
No, you're not. You are not going to talk to that buyer about the property at all until you have a asking price and commission agreed on.
Okay.
I screened that from the mountaintops earlier. I put it in bold letters on the Google sheet. Do not tell the buyer about a property that you don't have. You don't know what the seller wants for it, nor what they'll pay you if you bring a buyer.
Got it. Yeah.
You fit it. And this is why, if in fact you have a buyer that dwindles out and you don't have a buyer anymore, okay, that this process still works, because we're working it from the back. We're confirming with the seller if they will sell, why they want to sell, and we're confirming what they want and what they'll pay us if we bring a buyer before we even talk to the buyer. So we can get all the way to that point without a buyer.
Got it. Okay. I appreciate it.
Is it
Ricky? I got one.
Can you put your hand up on the Zoom, Brian? No, like there's a button to like put a hand up like everybody else. Amelia.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for all this information. I can't even believe you do this for free. This is crazy.
You can send me a check if you want, or maybe like a couple referral fees.
I can do that after those 100 letters go, after those 1,000 letters go out.
I'm just kidding.
So
what you got?
My question is, when you
look really small. What's going on?
Oh gosh, I'm in my pajamas.
I like messing with people when they don't show their face. Anyway, you don't have to turn it on. What's your question?
Okay, so I guess my question is, when you look up, when you were doing the search and yes, I am definitely in my pajamas because I just did like 300 expired calls from my pajamas. So my question is, when you call the absentee owners, obviously there's a renter on there, right? So do you recommend sending marketing for basically
I'm
for
sorry.
the,
I'm sorry. I had to get this Richard Floor guy out of here. He's just like spamming the shit out of the chat.
He was.
All right. I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry. I had to get him out of there now. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so again, my question was when you were doing the when you were putting the search specifically for the absentee owners,
Okay.
obviously there's a renter on there, right? So do you recommend
No, that's the owner of the property that you're calling.
well, what about the properties that the owners don't live there?
You're calling the owner of the property.
Right, but isn't those properties like a second property basically where they don't live?
It is, but you're still calling the person that owns it. The numbers on there is the owner. So they may live in Wisconsin. Your market, let's just say your market is Florida. You're in like Sarasota, and the owner lives in Georgia. Well, when you pull up that property, that property is going to give you the owner who lives in Georgia. So you're going to call the owner in Georgia about selling his property in Sarasota. You're not calling whoever's in the house living there. That's not the number it's giving you. It's giving you the owner of the property.
I know. Let me rephrase my question. I think you didn't understand me. So I know that I'm calling the property owner.
Okay.
Who doesn't live in that property.
Got you.
So chances are that he has a renter in that property.
Possibly.
Maybe, right?
Yeah.
So my question is, do you recommend us sending any type of marketing material to that property anyways, because maybe that renter is going to be a proper
No. I don't want to represent renters. Are you kidding me?
No, buyers, like for buying.
I don't want to represent buyers. I don't want to represent people who are buying. See, listen, you can focus your business on whatever you want to focus on. There's unlimited activities and resources to focus only on property owners. Okay. Purely 100% of your time could be spent on property owners. Okay. When your business is focused on property owners, you become more of a listing heavy business, and your buyers are very well qualified because it's owners who sold and are rebuying, or it's people who want to buy your listings. Right? You get very few buyers, and the ones you do are very well qualified. Okay. Versus, and that's the kind of business I want. That's how I got to 100 deals a year as a single agent, because I'm focusing on property owners because that's the most efficient way to go. Versus if I spend any resources on the lowest quality leads, people that are renting or first-time home buyers, or people that are looking to relocate here and stuff like that, who are going to drive me all around town, all hours of the night, then my business is very inefficient. I'm losing my mind. I can't sell 100 properties in a year because I'm not leveraging. I'm not being efficient, and I'm not doing what I need to do to build as much influence as I can in the market. A renter may rent forever, and here I am spending my time trying to prospect to a renter who may rent forever. I want to prospect. I want to spend every single bit of my prospecting and marketing energy on people who already own properties. See what I'm saying?
Right.
This is totally our choice. If I'm prospecting to a renter, I'm basically telling the world, hey, I don't mind showing property at 6, 7 o'clock every single night, while listing agents are at home chilling with their families, eating dinner, still making money because I'm selling their listings. Right. So what my hope is, everybody on this Zoom becomes more of a listing heavy agent, and lets all the other agents who want to focus all their energies on trying to prospect renters and YouTube buyers can go sell their listings for them at 6 o'clock at night. Let me mute that person. You can unmute again.
All right, perfect. Thank you. That was great insight.
Cool. Is it Colton?
Yeah, it's Colton. How you doing, Ricky?
What up, dude?
What's going on? Just a quick question. It's a little bit nuanced. I'm pretty new to the business. I'm just hitting my 2-month mark today, and it's been pretty good on the buy side. I've done 7 buy side, but I just got my first opportunity to work with a seller. Was just cold calling around, and it's an off-market commercial deal. And he doesn't want to list, but he said if I can bring a buyer, then he'll write me into the commission. I already have a contract with him on that. I just don't know how to best go about doing that. Like, should I push him to list, or should I market it in a certain way and try and find a buyer? How would you approach that?
Well, you can't really market it. It's against the code of ethics. You can't market something you don't have an official exclusive right to sell on. So that's number one. Number two, you can tell people about it. Like if a buyer calls, you can say, hey, I have this off-market property. You just can't market it, right? Can't put it in an email, can't put it on social media. You can't, run ads against it and all that stuff. But you can tell people about it. And so that's all you can do. You kind of have your hands tied behind your back when they do you like that, So it comes back to, why do they want to sell? If they don't want to list it, it tells me that they're probably not motivated to sell, or they would list it. If they were to list it, will they list it with you, or is there another agent that they might work with if that happens? You just need to kind of set the expectations with them. Hey, listen, this kind of ties my hands behind my back. It's kind of hard for me to sell it, and it would tie any agents. It's not just me. Any agent would have their hands tied behind their back the way that we're doing this. I'm happy with trying to, keep an eye out for a buyer for you, right? But without getting exposure, it's kind of hard for me to, confidently go out here and find you a buyer. So it just comes down to what they want to do and when they want to do it. And your job is to try to maintain the relationship until the point where they actually are motivated to sell enough to actually list the property. And then hopefully you're the guy they list it with. You can't really spend a lot of time like trying to find a buyer. Like, they're not really giving you an opportunity to do that. So there again, you need to spend the effort that you would have spent trying to find the buyer for that property on trying to find a seller who will actually hire you on an exclusive basis to sell their property.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Appreciate it.
Let's see. Oh man, shoot. What the heck? Here we go. All right. Oh, there was a question here. Okay. What? Okay, I got it. Still confused on who to send mailers to. If we don't have buyers, if it's just any neighborhood, then isn't that just essentially farming a neighborhood? No, it's not essentially farming, because you're sending one letter. Farming is sending postcards every month or whatever. This is one letter, a one hit. And we're going to call the owners directly after we send these letters. After we send these 1,000 letters, you're going to call them and say, hey, I'm the one that sent the letter. How you doing? But as Lisa N, you're confused at who to send the letters to if you don't have a buyer. You have a buyer. Like, have you talked to any humans and said, hey, if there was a good deal on something, would you be interested? Like, if you talk to just 3 people, you're going to find 1 or 2 buyers. So you've got buyers. You just don't know it. Like, just talk to anybody that you talk to and say, hey, if there was a good deal on something, would you be interested? And bam. I mean, come on. All right. Is it Pat?
Hi, Ricky.
Hey.
Quick question. So I listed a property just yesterday, and
Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna have to mute everybody, and you can unmute. Go ahead. Unmute for me. Okay, you said
thanks.
you listed a property?
Yeah, so I just listed a property, and I wanted to use the handwritten letters, and I wanted to just get your input on what would be something catchy other than, I didn't want to send the regular just listed postcards because all the other realtors do that. So I'm going to do the handwritten idea.
I don't know that I would do that unless you're going to do the handwritten thing that we do. Like, this is what you got to do. All right. Do the regular just listed postcard. Okay. But try to make it look have a funny picture of you or something, like have it stand out somehow. But this is what you do. You do the just listed. You do the just pended postcard. You do the just closed postcards. You're going to send 2 or 3 postcards out during the process of the deal. But what you have to do, Pat, is you got to call that entire subdivision during the process. So sometime during that 60-day process or that 90-day process from listing to close, you've got to sit down for just an hour. How many people are in the neighborhood?
A lot. I mean, it's a pretty substantial.
Like 300, 500, 1,000.
At least 500.
Okay, so 500, you with an auto dialer, you could literally call that in 2 days. Like you could do 3 hours, 2 days, you're done. So maybe take you like 3 to 5 hours to call those. No, 500 actually take you probably 6, 7 hours total. So you could break that up in, you know, whatever, 3 2-hour days or whatever. But sometime during that 60 to 90 day process of listing and close and you sending out these postcards, you've got to hit those owners up, because there's like a 60 something % chance that when a listing hits a neighborhood, another listing in the same neighborhood is going to pop up. You've got to be the one talking to the property owner saying, hey, I don't know if you saw my postcard, but I listed this house over here. We're about to go under contract. Just calling to introduce myself, see if there's anything I could do for you. How you guys doing? You looking to move sometime soon? Blah, blah, blah. Is there an agent you would work with? Love to stay in touch. See if you have something in common, like get to know people.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yes, thank you.
I wouldn't worry about the fanciness and the handwritten stuff on the postcard, right? The
Mhm.
thing that you're going to do differently is you're going to show up on their caller ID. Nobody else is doing that. Everybody's sending the same postcard, but nobody's following up with a phone call like you're going to do. That's what's
Right.
going to be the difference maker, and that's what's going to get you the business. You're good at
Okay.
making friends, right?
I am. I mean, I think I'm pretty outgoing.
People love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. See? So that right there, you see that smile? That little change in your personality right then when I said that, that's who
Yeah.
you need to be when you call them. You need to be the happy-go-lucky girl that everybody loves, and they're going to love you, and they're going to do business with you. But if you call up and you're tight and you're stiff and you're, oh God type thing, it's like you're calling these people because you care about them. They're in the neighborhood, they're in your community, and you care about their well-being. I listed a house over here. I'm just calling around to see. I don't think I've ever met you guys before. I live in the area and I've been selling real estate for how many ever years. And I'm just calling to see if there's something I can do for you. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. John. Elise. Damn it. Okay, Elise, you there? All right, Elise, what you got?
Hi, Ricky. So about the expired, I know you said each follow-up is differently. Do you do also this drip campaign they do, or you just put them on your emails every week? And do you have any special follow-up we do with the expired? I know it depends of is like 6 months or 3 months or a year.
So yeah, my drip is the weekly email.
Mhm.
And then I follow up according to why they wanted to sell and all that good stuff. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I make notes. I know what they want to do, why they want to do it. I put together a game plan. I go over it with them. They know what to expect from me when I'm going to call next, when we're meeting, whatever we're doing next. We've got the game plan down and we're ready to roll.
Okay. I think.
Yeah. And then as far as everything else goes, like it's just the weekly email, which I'm personalizing where they feel like they get a piece of Ricky in there. And
Mhm.
then I don't do the drips. The only drips I would ever do is just connect them to the MLS or the criteria of something they're looking for or subdivision they're in, so they can get automatic emails of properties
Mhm.
that fit whatever criteria they want to get properties of automatically. But outside of that, I don't do any drips.
Another quick question. And do you leave a voicemail for the expires and physicals?
I leave a voicemail for everyone because it's another, for me, piece of the personal branding puzzle. They saw my sign around town. They saw my video on social. They saw my postcard. Then they heard my name on the voicemail. They're like, oh, there's Ricky on the voicemail. I just saw his video and I saw a sign in the neighborhood with his name on it. Now he's calling me. So it's another piece of the personal branding puzzle for me.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Damika.
Hey, party people. My name's Damika Bermudez out here in Atlanta.
Damika Bermudez.
Hi, Ricky. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for giving us this blueprint. And guess what, guys? All we got to do is implement, right?
How many people you think will actually do it?
I'm super excited. My question to you was, Oh man, and by the way, those jewels that you just gave Miss Lady with her listing, amazing. Call the entire subdivision. Absolutely. I took note on that too.
Yeah. Look, Geo Leads Plus, you get the numbers in literally 2.7 seconds, and you just hit another button and auto dial it. Bam.
What was it? Geo Leads Plus?
Yeah, on RedX, there's Geo Leads Plus. So
Oh,
they got
I'm
a
about to
free
be all over that
they got a
thing.
free trial happening. Did you get the free trial?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
Geo Leads
I'm
Plus is
excited.
one of the things, right?
Mhm.
And so you just put an address in the subdivision, or you can even just draw it out on the map where you want what phone numbers you want, and then just boop boop boop, and you get all their information right then. And then there you click another button and just auto dial them.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Wanted to definitely thank you for that blueprint. When you're watching the hot sheet, what exactly are you looking for?
I'm just scanning through, just trying to become familiar. You know, something may stand out of like a listing that's in a subdivision that I called a while back or I'm familiar with. And I'm like, oh, look at there. It's kind of a high price. And I might click on it and look at the pictures and look at the agent that listed it and try to learn more about it. And then like same thing with pendings and close. I may see something that maybe I sold a client a property in a subdivision and something else went up on the market 2 weeks ago. Now it's pending. Now I'll look and want to see more about what's going on, or maybe it closed. And it's cool because when you look at the hot sheet, it does two things. One, you become this market expert over the course of just a couple of weeks. You like know everything about the market. It's those new listings and market data and expires and withdrawals and cancels and pendings. That's like the blood. That's like the blood vessels of the market. You're like right at the heart, at the epicenter of the market, of your local market, and you understand the market from the inside out. Second nature. When people ask you questions, you're going to be like spitting out all this data that you didn't even know you knew because you watched the hot sheet. You're going to know like square foot prices and what's on the market in certain subdivisions. And oh, I saw this house come up over there. It went under contract in 2 days because you saw it happen in real time. So you become this market expert, but also it'll jog your memory to reach out to people. You'll see properties that make you think of clients. And when that happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you see a property in the hot sheet that reminds you of a client, stop everything you're doing and call that client right then. And say, hey, I saw this property come up or go listing or pending or whatever, and it made me think of you. I don't know if you saw it, but I just want to call out and see how you're doing. Right? How's the house? How's the family? How's the kids? How's the whatever? You know,
That's awesome.
what is there
And as
something
an
I could do to
expert, your
help you?
confidence goes up. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah. And you're
Thank
calling
you,
them about breaking news in the market, you know, like this listing just hit the market today and it made me think of you. And they may, if they bought a house in the subdivision last year, you represented them, something popped up now, their cousin may now want to move into the neighborhood, you know, or something. You're just stirring the pot, right? But
That's
watching that hot sheet, it just, I just can't stress how much it enhances what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Brian.
What's up, Ricky? How you doing?
Hey, buddy.
So real quick, I need you to dummy this this 2-sentence note that we're sending out. Letterhead is okay or no?
It's blurry. Put it next to in front of your face. No, just right in front of your face. Okay, I see. It just has the I see. It just has the logo. Oh, and it has your stuff at the bottom.
Yeah, it has my contact at the bottom, and then
that's
I
perfect.
also have the.
I don't know that I would do that.
Okay.
I think I would do just handwritten, no logo
blank
on
envelope
it.
And
yeah, no logo, just handwritten everything right there.
Okay.
Because that just ensures, you know, let's say it's a 50-50 chance or maybe less than a 50-50 that they open it if you send them that. Versus if it's all handwritten, it goes in my experience, it goes from like 40 to 90% open rate.
Okay. All right, good to know. That's why, I felt stupid asking that question, but I said I got to ask it anyway.
Yeah, it's a much needed question, you know, like that stuff matters when it jumps from 40 to 90. That's the difference in, you know, 90 people opening it out of 100 or 40 people opening it. Right. And then 10 people are going to call, 10 people call you in one scenario versus 4 or 5 in the other scenario. Well, dude, like 4 or 5 people and it's the same activity. It's you're putting forth the same effort to get twice the results. And like 4 or 5 people bro, like that could be, those 4 or 5 people could be worth $1 million to you over the course of the next 12 years through, you know, them doing business, repeats, referrals of referrals. Okay. And then them giving you referrals, and like it spider webs out. You know, these are seeds that turn into massive, massive oak trees, and you just can't discount even one single client.
100%. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Cool, bro. Anthony, let's see how many more questions we got here. Oh, okay, we're getting close to the end. Let's do like a rapid fire, like just say the question in 10 words, and I'll give a quick answer.
Okay, am I live?
You are.
Can you hear me? Okay. I wanted to ask you your opinion on hard closings and scripts and being really aggressive. You know, I'm following Jackie Kravitz, for example. What do you think about that style?
What like being more hardcore and aggressive and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing about that is that everything works. Okay, so the hardcore aggressive style works, and what I do works. So everything works. You have to figure out what works best for you, what you're comfortable with, what gets you the results that you want, and then go all in on what works really well for you. The reason why that doesn't work for me is because I feel like I turn a lot of prospects away. You know, so here's the thing, you know, 20 to 30% of people you talk to are going to love you enough to do business with you forever. Okay. However, if you're hardcore aggressive, trying to just get the deal, close the deal, set the appointment, all that, you don't care about anything but that. You're not even listening to the prospect. You're just trying to set appointments and everything. That 10 to 20% is going to go down to what? You know, 1, 2, 3% of people that actually will do business with you. And that may be the 1 to 2 to 3% who actually want to do a deal today. But let me tell you how I build $1 million business. And that is off the people that don't want to buy or sell today. See, the people that don't want to buy or sell today, which is the majority of the people you're going to talk to, are the ones that actually double and triple and quadruple and 10x your business over the course of the next 3 years, that the hardcore aggressive salespeople are throwing in the garbage. You know, I mean, when you're like that and they're not ready and you're still trying to force them, well, they get this really bad feeling, and chances are they never want to talk to you ever again, and they go use a different agent. I want to capture everyone I can into my net, into my spider web. If they're not selling now, I don't care. I'm going to deal with the people who do, but I want to have a system in place where I can accumulate everybody I can, so that when the day comes when they do decide, I'm still their guy. You know, I still want the opportunity later. I don't want to throw away that later opportunity because I'm trying to do a deal now. You know, I should be smart enough to identify the fact that they don't want to do a deal now, and it should be to my best interest to create a relationship with them, so that when they do actually do a deal, they're going to call me. Makes total sense. For me, it just feels like common sense. And trust me, I did it wrong for like 6 or 7 years. I was so high pressure, just getting deals done. And, you know, that was kind of the rise and fall of Ricky. I lost everything. And when I came back, I realized what I did wrong, and I switched it up. And then guess what? Then I built $1 million business that doesn't even get hurt in a market crash. Good question, man. You. Good question. Tony. Rose.
Hi, Ricky. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I do have I like the letter situation, like what you're suggesting us to do. I don't know if I missed it, but I want to see how you present it to the sellers. Like, let's say they do call you, or you follow up and they ask if you do have a buyer. How do you negotiate, or what is the script in regards to the price and commission?
Oh, it depends on the It depends on the property and the comps. I have to see the property to be able to price it. Yeah, I don't know anything until I see the property. So that first call is them saying, "Do you have a buyer?" and me saying yes, and me saying, "Why do you want to sell?" Okay, and then it's like, okay, great. Well, the next step is me coming by and taking a look at the property and seeing what I think I can, you know, get for you, and agree on a commission with you. I don't even talk about that on the call right then. Then I go look at the property and see what it looks like, and I figure out what I think it's worth, you know, on the market. And I discussed that with them and tell them what my commission is. Hold on one second.
Had it in my head. Oh, y'all want Kof?
Let me unmute Rose. I'll come back to you, Tony.
Hello?
Tony, I'll come back to you,
Oh,
Tony.
I'm sorry. I'm
That's
so
okay.
sorry.
That's okay. I'll come right back to you.
Okay.
Okay,
So
go ahead,
let's say
Rose.
we are now, let's say I'm at the property and it's just now, obviously I've pulled comps, we're talking about price. How does it sound with the commission?
Hold on 1 second. I'm almost done, okay? She said, you're still in here working. And she said, Mom's gonna be pissed off. All right. So what now?
So let's say I go look at the property, right? So during the phone, I'm letting him know, hey, I need to see the condition of the home. I need to see the property to kind of talk numbers. They agree with me to let me go in the home. How at that point do I negotiate commission?
You don't really negotiate it. You tell them what it is. Tell them what you charge. It's just like anything else. Like if a contractor comes to give you a bid, what do? They tell you what they charge. I want you to come, paint my house. Okay, cool. I got to come look at it as a painter. I got to come look at it to see what it looks like so I can tell you what I'll charge. And they come there and they look at it and they say, okay, it's going to be $10,000. I'm not negotiating. I'm telling them what it is. If they want to try to negotiate with me once I tell them what it is, then I'll negotiate. But I'm not walking in to negotiate. I'm going to tell them what I feel like I can get for the property and what I charge as a commission. Shane's strategy is pretty good. He says he charges 5, 2.5 for each agent if another agent's involved, and 4 if he represents the buyer. I always did 6 and 5. 6, if it's another agent, and 5 if I represent the buyer. I always did that. We're in a new world than 10 years ago. But I'm not walking in with like thoughts of negotiating. I'm walking in to tell them what I can get and what I charge.
Okay, for sell by owners, it's newer to me, so I'm glad you're telling me that, so that I'm just like just going in with that mentality. Where it's just how it is. Because I know right now I have a for sale by owner. He's really difficult with price and all that stuff, so it kind of helps me just to have confidence that that's just how it's gonna have to be.
Cool, great, good question, Tony. Let's come back to you.
Hi, how are you?
Good. We're in rapid fire here, so maybe just like a 10 word question.
Absolutely. I own a childcare center in my neighborhood, and I live in the neighborhood, and I have my real estate signs in front of my daycare because I'm allowed to do that. Can you give me any recommendations on ways that I can farm the neighborhood?
You can send letters, like I just said here, handwritten letters. You can call them, you can door knock. Is that what you mean?
Okay, yep, that's exactly what I mean. But
like,
is there anything? Is there anything like that I can do that kind of set me aside?
You can send letters. You can call them. You can door knock them. Like this is what you got to understand, Tony. Nobody's doing this. So the fact that you do this makes you stand out, number one. And number two, nobody is you. So when you talk to them on the phone or you show up at their door or whatever, when they hear you talk, that's going to make you stand out right there. Why? Because nobody is like you. There's only one Tony Parker.
You're right about that.
That's it. So let that personality shine. That's what's going to make you stand out.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You are welcome. Stephanie, quickly. John, quickly.
Hey, Ricky. We'll make it quick. For those of us who have horrible handwriting, what are some good
write slower?
You already answered this earlier, but
write slower.
Write slower.
Yeah.
Have you heard about services that do it for you, that make use an actual pen and then a computer that does it?
Yeah, like if you I've heard of some services like that, but yeah, if you can like get your cousin that is in a junior in high school, or like like get somebody to do it for you if you need here's the addresses, here's the envelopes, here's the letterheads, here's the business cards, here's the stamps, get to work.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Appreciate it.
you could do it like that if you wanted to. I always just
Yeah,
wrote
no,
them
I could be a
myself.
doctor with my handwriting.
Yeah, I used to write 20 of these a day. I would do my calls all day. I would follow up and like do all my email stuff for the people I talked to during the calls. Then I would write 20 handwritten letters. Then I would look up the next 100 numbers I was going to call the next day.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Steph, you there?
Yes, I am. Thanks.
All right, real
I was
quick.
going to ask you about the return address on the envelopes. Yes or no?
Yeah, put your name and return address on there. I would.
Okay, so I don't have an office address.
Just put your home. I mean, you might have
Are
to.
you
I
sure?
mean, like that might be against some kind of like code of ethics or board of realtors, or I don't know what your state rules are, and so I can't really answer that. I don't know what your state rules are when it comes to like what address you can put on, letters and stuff. So what's that?
I would say just put your broker's office address.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would ask my broker, what address can I use here? You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mita.
Ricky, thank you so very much for doing what you do. But I just have to say this, like all the agent who says we don't have a buyer, but their firm has the buyer. They can use that as their, the buyer question, like, yes, everybody has the buyer. Don't you think that?
I do think that, and I do agree with that, but I'm not going to get into the argument of, oh, you're just telling people you have a buyer when you don't, because I don't feel like arguing with people, right? Write the letter for buyers that you have. If you say you don't have a buyer, then are you an agent? Are you even, I mean, do you have a license? Have you not asked anyone if they would like to buy something and put them on a list that they would like to buy a certain thing? Like, what are we doing? You have a
Also,
buyer.
Because I'm coming back after a 1 year of break, right? So I didn't had any listing or any sold last year or so. So what should I do at that point? Like when they ask me, do you have any listing or any buyers?
Tell them you
Really, I
don't have any listings. You don't have any buyers. Like whatever the situation is, that's what you tell them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like be honest with people. You have any listings? Nope. Have you ever sold anything? Nope. But that's exactly why you want me, because I don't have anything going on. So if you do a deal with me, guess what? I'm going to work on your deal 8 hours a day. Hello, Robert.
Right.
I only got time for 2 more here, and they better be quick. Robert. All right, Ned.
Yes, sir. With the letter, do you include the letter only, or should we include some sort of item of value, market report, printed newsletter, something along those lines?
Nope. The item of value is the letter, and that you have a prospect that wants to buy their property.
Got it.
You start doing all that
cool.
other salesy, weird looking stuff, they're going to be like, oh, he probably sent this to everybody. You want it to have a feel that you sent it just to them.
Okay.
Robert.
I like it.
Hey, Ricky, sorry about that. I didn't unmute it the first time, but to the guy with bad handwriting, I will write his letters for him. And a serious question, Ricky, I know you do a lot of circle prospecting on the condos. Were you getting a lot of rental listings, not like for sale listings, but like to list them for rent?
I never did rentals ever. I've never did one single rental. Never made money off a rental, never did any rentals. I helped maybe a couple people like find a rental, like a tenant for their property. I never charged them. Like I don't do rentals. Cool. Good stuff, guys. Hey, enjoyed it. You guys are the best. Put a 1. Put a 1 if you got just so much value out of this thing. You just can't even believe it's free. By putting a 1, it tells me you're committed to this. You're going to go do the 1,000 letters. I didn't try to sell you anything today, a coaching program, a damn nothing. I just said, here's 3 hours of my life to help you go get 30 listings over the next 30 days. That's what I did today.
And we better not waste your damn time.
Well, that's exactly what I was fixing to say. I hope you guys appreciate it enough, that it inspires you enough that I would do that, to go out and execute on exactly what I said, even if you don't like to cold call. Say, I want to at least go get 30 listings by the end of the year, and then I'll go back to doing whatever I was doing, twiddling my thumbs, not getting anything. Okay?
If that little girl comes in there one more time, your wife is really gonna be pissed.
I know.
So go
I'm
home.
scared.
Go
Like
home, Roger.
I'm scared that like if the door starts opening, I'm gonna be scared.
Go home, Roger.
But anyway,
Thank you.
all right, I love you
Rick,
guys.
go eat, man. Go eat, bro. Go ahead.
God
Go eat, man.
bless you, Ricky. God bless you and multiply everything you're believing for.
Thank you very much.
So much.
Thank you guys.
Great knowledge.
Bye-bye.
I-35 with the top down, quit to tell a hater they should get like me. Seem like everybody wanna be the boss, but it costs and these lames ain't like me. Drop a couple bands on the crib.